Sure
Every time you
will.
start with that.
Good day, good evening, good night, good morning, and good afternoon. And typically the ladies got some music, but just to tell you, Janina was late as always. She didn't get any music. So
I love
putting
it.
Janina
Wow.
on blast. We're back for another live, exciting episode of Reels Tennis Podcast.
Mm,
And it's not really episode 200, but I'm gonna name it episode 200
I mean,
because
that's
I want to
creative
celebrate the
accounting.
fact. I mean, look, it works for the treasury, it works for everybody else. Like, I mean, I'm hoping to do the student loans, like I'm hoping to. Hey, so I wanted to celebrate the fact that that we were all in the same place at the same time for the very first time in of all places, Washington D.C.
Nation's
So I wanted
capital.
to celebrate our 200, episode. Whatever. We got many. We got like 20 more episodes than 200. But whatever. It's our show. We do whatever we want to
What?
do.
Wait. Are you telling me you're skipping numbers to
No,
get to
remember we used to
200?
do like specials during the podcast
Okay,
during the
okay,
pandemic. We did
okay.
like the politics and all of that stuff. They don't count as
Oh my gosh.
like-
Okay, well, do whatever creativity you need to get us to 200.
right. Okay. So there's like
We're
episode
farming on
199A,
what is that?
199B, 199C.
Bless.
I
Okay.
wanted to save the 200
Mess.
episode something special. But before I go any further, let me introduce my co-hostesses with the mostesses. Wow, Zenobia is from Ghana. We are in the motherfucking land. We are in Africa. Zenobia is having us screaming, and I mean, like Janina from far in Ohio.
Wow.
Can you believe that? You have
I
crossed the
mean,
Atlantic for the very first time. Look at you.
Wow. Is that really the first
Awesome.
time? We want to
Well,
hear
no,
all
I
the
mean,
tea.
yes, Zenobia, you got to bring us on and let us
Yes.
know, like all about Ghana. Janina, how are you in foreign Ohio?
Right after Ghana.
Right.
I
Of
mean,
course.
I love it.
I'm fine. Thank you so much. And it was amazing to be in the same place with everybody and to have real hugs and real kisses and real drinks and real tennis and real gossip. It was great.
is this reels with a Z? I'll just, like read
Yeah,
as
yeah,
we
yeah.
genuine. Which
I forgot that part.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to blow up your spot. So at
do
first
please do.
I'm hanging out with Janina before Reels gets there, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Tell
And
that.
and then, we're chit-chatting, gaggling, doing what we do, running our mouth and drinking a lot. And midway through it, I was like, wait a minute. We're drinking maybe a little too much. What's going on here? What's happening here? And I turned to Janina. I was like, wait a minute. Are you nervous? Are you scared? What's going on here? This is me. Yes, I did study psychology, and yes, I'm really, really, really behind the 8 ball because I'm looking at Janina, and I think this girl is legit nervous to meet Reels. They have. You all know this? These two talk every day.
Nearly every day. Sometimes not on
wouldn't-
weekends, unless you work on weekends.
I
But
was not nervous. I was excited.
Well,
yeah,
is
she
that what
was.
we're gonna call it? Okay, we're gonna call it exciting.
And
But no,
let me
it
say,
was
and
funny.
and
It was cute.
and
I
let's
was
just
like,
point out the fact we've been doing this podcast since 2015. Okay,
listen, I don't even want to talk
in the
about how
beginning,
aged we
like
are.
I think, I think when we had all of us, it had to have been Indian Wells
Yeah.
around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely from Miami. So it's just been a good over 7 years.
Yeah. Wow, that's
My
amazing.
longest relationship.
It's been a
I
long
mean,
time.
marriages don't even last as long as this. But
Oh
let me tell you
no! Are we
something.
having the 7-year itch? Anything can happen.
No, if you're hanging out with Janina, she's not a drinks girl. Get her beer, please. Get her beer. Like, and the problem
So
with
what you're
Janina,
trying to say about Janina is that she's gully.
and that's just it, right?
Affectionately
And that's
said
just the problem. Janina
from one
is that girl who'll be
Jamaican.
like, one more shot, One more shot, bitch. It's your birthday, blow the fuck out. But
It was
Janina
her
is that messy girl.
birthday.
She is that.
I
She
love
is
it.
that
She's that
one
girl.
friend
She is that
who
girl.
is ready. Oh, we gonna rob a bank, bitch? Yeah, let's get a drink first. We going. We golly.
Up
Like
for
she is.
everything. Up for
She's
everything.
co-signing everything. You want to go
We
on the
had
stage and be a stripper and dance naked? Let's get a drink first, and we're
we
good.
had a
I
lot of
support you.
champagne.
Yes,
We
and
had
she was getting
bottles
the hookup
of
too.
champagne.
Yeah,
She was
we
getting
drank
the hookup.
quite a lot. It was so good though. It was really good to be in each other's company. And then we were also with the aunties.
Yes,
So it was all good things. All
amazing
good
group of
things.
black ladies who are just like wise. They've been around the world. They're mostly Federer fan. I would give
No,
you
there's some
Diane.
serious Rafa fans up in there. But
Yeah.
I will say they had us under the table because morning, noon, and night to watch that tennis, they are out there in the sun.
I'm telling you. And they drive from Maryland. They don't. I mean, few of them live around the corner, right?
No,
They are
very
This is
few.
hardcore.
Delia's driving from Virginia. Like
I
Dev,
was
we're coming from.
wherever.
Because last year I did the trip from Maryland to DC all the time, and I forgot to tell Andrine that like, girl, that thing is hard, okay? Because these ladies are there. Like you might think they're there to the last ball, unless it's like Jack Sock playing. I don't know, like some other person they don't like. Like,
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know.
fully committed. We're watching until the end.
You
And they
guys,
know people. It's like they're not. Don't imagine. Oh my God, Jazz is talking to us from
we
Pacific
are
Ocean.
so international tonight.
I'm telling you.
Jazzy, I am so excited for you. Listen, collect all the bodily love you can, all right? Collect it all up.
Exactly.
Sure, we're gonna have you listen, we're gonna have one of those special episodes for everyone who's been abroad to come on and talk to us about all the tea. You all gonna have to come on and
Right.
tell us about your adventure.
Exactly. I mean, seeing that you are solely tennis travel, like you can tell us what are tips, tricks, like where to
Yes,
find,
I'm curious.
So, but
I'm
just know,
down to
like,
expanding my zones. Jazz is going to regions I haven't been yet.
yeah.
Screaming for attention.
So just so you know, if you're an alcoholic or trying to wean off alcoholic, do not hang with Janina. Not a good
Come back
idea.
full circle.
Do not do it. Janina will have you not only falling off of that wagon, she gonna have you in the gutter. Okay, like you have to resist. You have to be like,
yes.
nope, Janine, I'm not having another drink. You sure? I am absolutely sure. No, you have to be firm with yourself and Janina. Like, I
Zip
mean, like
it.
Janina's, people be like, well, it's 5:00 somewhere in the universe. Janina is just like, it's never too early. I don't care what
And
time
we'll
it is,
just
it's
blow up
future
Reels,
time.
and we'll blow up Reels a spot by saying Reels got legs, and booty.
Legs, hips, and body.
That is the theme for Reels.
Oh my God.
Hips and
That
body.
hook, I swear to God, I just randomly walk around in my head and that hook comes to my mind. I'm just like, I can't believe that's a real thing. That cannot be a real thing. But we're going sidetrack, let me
Come back
introduce,
full
of course,
center.
Andrine, who was, she does this East Coast, West Coast thing. I mean, like, and she's gonna be back on the East Coast this week.
Ready for
So,
some tennis, y'all. Ready for some tennis.
I don't know how this is do this, but
ready to be dragged in week one for the monster that we Williams sisters have created, the intensity that they have created, which now means we both have to deal with serious and casual fans.
Yep. Ooh, girl, listen. Can we talk about the fact that
Reels' favorite pet peeve is casual
I know
tennis fans.
It's not the casual tennis fan. That's different. You know what I
It's
mean?
the stupid casual tennis fan.
I mean, I was watching. I mean, this was Saturday. They're having the semifinals for the ladies. It's Saturday. People rarely give out a trophy on a Saturday, but it happens.
Yep.
These people just rolling for 5 minutes. I thought they were giving in the trophy. Are they doing doubles? Like, sir, like, how are you spending hard money? I mean, like, the drinks ain't all that great. The food options are a little bit better than last year, which is not saying much. But I mean, just like, why are we doing this? There are other places to hang out with yourself You know what I mean? For cheaper, go to Dave and Buster's. Go to the movies. Go to the park. You know what I mean? Go to a frisbee, something. But you all are just coming in blocking people who really want to watch tennis, and then just frozen up the whole goddamn place, and then seeing, it's not they don't even keep their mouth shut. They're just constantly talking. Everybody's just like, "What? What do you mean trophy, sir? This is the first semifinal of the day." Like, what?
I know.
Double?
Explaining tennis scoring as well as the fact that this is ongoing and you're not going to get anything done today. We're just going to crown one winner today, and then they're coming back tomorrow or the next day. No, it's fun.
He was calling his homeboys, and then he was just like, "Oh, don't worry, like they're not giving out the trophy. We just came to get some pictures." What? This
Yes.
Instagram, I'm telling you, the Instagram documentation of life is such a fucked up thing. Y'all will be out here doing some crazy. Like, don't believe anything. Like,
Come back full circle, Reels.
Nope. So it was fun. I mean, like, it was unusual for me to just be there for the weekend to see the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was used to going all around, so it was weird to walk around the grounds and not like real action happening. Because I mean, the DC tournament attracts a lot of. It's an older men's tournament, correct? If I'm not mistaken. So they attract a lot of solid, good men.
Yep.
Like
Always have
to come there, and it's 500 points. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna just get the scrubs, okay? You're gonna
get a
some
little bit of
solid
scrubs
people.
and some people doing some
Exactly,
touristing.
but you're gonna get some solid people, and it's a good opportunity to see some brand new players that you may not have seen before. An old one of your old favorites, you can see them on out of
And to
court.
meet Janina's favorite, Mr. Maxim Cressy, who was
Yes,
very
he was
much
there.
very delicious. Appreciated.
So it's all like it's a good tournament.
But
And the
let's
women
get
were there.
into it though. We've been to
Yes.
CitiOpen is over. Let's move to New York. Reels, take us
Okay.
there.
So we are with the men. Our our team this week. I mean, like, I guess we have to cash in on the likes and the the buzz, so we can hashtag. Our theme this week is Serena, and by saying that, as a major Venus fan, I resent this theme. I do resent it. Just putting that out in the air, okay? Because Venus is an icon. She's a legend. She's the moment, okay? Just putting that out there, okay?
She's not
She's the
having one
queen.
right now. She's giving her
Okay,
sister.
look,
She's
we're
giving
not
her
gonna talk
sister
about
air cover. Okay, this is Venus.
as
Is like,
always,
do what you need to do. This is your moment, Serena.
She's gonna be the guide dog. So we're doing a Serena moment, like Serena theme, whatever, all Serena references, whether it's to fashion, whether it's to score lines, like all things Serena, whatever she gives us to the public, she's a lot of people think they know Serena, but they don't know Serena, so whatever we know in the public, we're gonna try to break down the draw that way. And before we get to that, let me recognize Zenobia is here from Ghana. Jasmine is here in the Pacific. She's having a massage for 90-minute massage. She just says, I am off to a $15 90 minutes massage. Jazz, pay these people. Don't do that. Don't be that girl, Jazz.
No,
Don't
she
colonize.
can't. She can't do that thing where you go there and overpay and then create a whole mess. You still got to stay within the range, Maybe you can tip on the DL.
And there's Chad is also there, and all the casual listeners in the background who say nothing in the chat. We see you, we hear you, and we love it. So, ladies, you looked at your draw, and what did you think of the men's draw?
Well, so the draw is all things Serena, and I why is it all things Serena, Reels? Can you at least give some context to somebody who might be under a rock, living under a rock?
Ooh,
I don't know.
Under a rock.
Maybe someone randomly gets on this podcast and say, like, what's going on here? Explain to us why we're doing an all things Serena chat. Serena draw.
Serena says she bringing out. I think she brought it out in Vogue. Is that what the magazine?
Yes, always Vogue.
Vogue. Okay, that's where she gets.
Not your basic mag. Vogue.
With her daughter, that this is going to be her. She's winding down her tennis career, an iconic tennis career by any and all standards, and a legendary GOAT status for those who measure those things and believe in those things. This might be her very last US Open. and it is tickets have skyrocketed. Like you could have got a Monday's first session, and see a star, for pretty decent, like an okay check. Now you might need to sell
A kidney
a
along.
kidney just to be there. You know what I mean?
Did I
I
see somebody
mean,
casually post that someone's selling a ticket for $97,000? Is that for real?
I'm sure it is.
I don't know, but I just think that is just completely. I mean, I guess but um, I don't like these kind of things. Like I guess people we have
Whether
to.
you like it or not, we're gonna go
Not,
with
it's
it,
happening.
Reels.
It's
Okay,
happening. It's
let's
happening.
let's deal with what's
It's
happening.
happening.
How are you dealing with it? How are you approaching it? What's your take
Um,
on Serena's retirement?
I am. I'm Lizzo about it. It's about damn time. Okay, it's about
Oh
damn
my
time.
God. No, you didn't.
Oh my
Go
god,
sit
I
in
I
the
knew that
corner.
you
do.
You
say
get in
that.
the naughty chair.
No, I am not even in a naughty chair. Look, tennis wasn't invented in 2011, and I know I don't like to talk about casual fans in terms of in the sense that like there's a word that they call them on Twitter, like you just show up Johnny come lately kind of. There's something they call them pedestrians, are like I don't know, whatever. But I mean, Serena has been around turn per 1994, okay, 94, 95, and she has been playing at the top level for like since 97, 98. She won her first major in 1999. The internet wasn't invented in 1999, okay, just putting it out there.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
social
Stop
media was not a
it.
thing, social media was not a thing back then. You know what I mean? CBS used to cover US Open back then. Okay, like I mean, and the average tennis player retired at 30, 31, 33 was pushing it. And Serena gave us a lot of stuff well into her 40s. I have long said Serena doesn't need to contribute anything or give anything to tennis. I mean, and I suspected that a large part of her career, the remaining years of her career, felt more like it's for the public than for herself. And I think she missed that spark, that drive, but also her body doesn't respond the way it used to.
Yeah.
And as always, there will be quicker, younger women out there. And I think maybe she needs to, I don't know if she would like to do this. I think it's time that she turn her attention away from playing on the court, from doing something. I think Serena is big enough and hopefully clever enough and have enough resources at her disposal and will have enough public cachet and public awareness and gravitas to manipulate the public in the world to actually be change something much more,
Why?
do much more
I mean, why?
in the world of tennis, the world of sports.
Why would she? Do you think she's want to do that? She's doing everything else, but it doesn't seem like
I know that, but I
sport is
would
the
say I would
place that
hope
she's.
that
Why?
she's doing
Why
that.
you want to? Why are you always hoping for people to do meaningful shit?
But I know
Oh
what she's
shit.
not doing is doing anything meaningful on the court.
Oh my
That's
god!
what she's not doing.
Oh my god!
And
Wow.
it's
This is
local.
this is
Thank you,
too
c'est
much.
moi.
I
This
can't
That's
is
what
with
too
it is.
you.
much.
I
Too
can't
I
with
much.
mean,
you.
look, I know Janina is gonna come for me, and I love that. This is why I love this podcast, and I love that Janina is gonna come for me under these things, and she's gonna change my mind, and then Andrine is gonna come and say something and make me look like a complete idiot, and then go some middle of the road way and be like, you know what? This is what I considered, and just be like, you see, there I am running my mouth, thinking that I am, and she's just like, no reels. This
Go
is
for
what
it,
it is. And
Janina. Come for him.
smack it up. But hold on. Let me
No,
just
I'm
finish my
joking.
point by saying, that she's not doing anything meaningful on the court.
Yeah.
And
Hasn't for a while.
Janina's gonna say she doesn't have to. But if you want to if you don't want these girls to snatch your wig, you gotta pin it down.
Yeah.
And if you want to do that, you gotta put in the work and the effort to do it. You cannot be pedestrian about it. Because listen to me, Steffi Graf was fit as fuck when she left the sport when she was 30, and the girls were trying to drag her. You, Serena, was trying to drag her. Venus was trying to drag her. Steffi Graf left the tour having lost the 1999 Wimbledon final to Lindsay Davenport. Now, again, that is like 10 years removed from Serena. Serena is going to be 41 next month. Well, this month, August is almost finished, and that's a different thing. But I'm just simply saying, if you want to be on the tour, you have to be on the tour. You can't expect to be a pedestrian about it and then trigger the crowd and the public to make you think, oh my God, she's gonna do this and whatever. I need people to set realistic expectations when it comes around these things. But I said my piece. Now, Janina, drag me to filth.
Oh, Lord. All right. Where do I start? Jesus Christ.
Go right ahead.
I told y'all to be prepared to share your favorite Serena moments, right?
Hmm.
And I honestly don't know that I've ever shared this on the podcast. And if I have, you have to listen to it again.
Ooh.
So for me, this, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with her retiring. It's it's probably going to be emotional in the moment when we realize that she's hit her last ball, and that's okay. Um, there will be other people that we like and love. However, when I was a little girl and I had nothing and we didn't have cable TV, and on Saturday mornings when I wanted to watch cartoons every summer, breakfast with Wimbledon interrupted my Saturday cartoons. Well, the thing is that's the only channel that we got. So I watched it because there wasn't anything else to watch. And when I started doing that, it was a little bit before the years of Serena and Venus. Um, but I didn't know anything about tennis. But for whatever reason, I liked it. And I remember when I could finally say Navratilova properly, like I practiced it. I taught myself a game. I remember it was so weird hearing a score of love. Like, what does this mean? Like, I taught myself everything. But I got teased because I liked it and because I watched tennis, and black people didn't watch tennis. And I got teased by my friends. And I remember being uncomfortable and not wanting to tell people that I was watching tennis. And then here comes Venus, and shortly thereafter, here comes Serena. And they dominated from the beginning, and it gave me validation. And I feel like, I mean, Serena's going to be 41. Venus will shortly be 42. I'm 44. I grew up with them.
Venus is 42. She turned 42
I
in June.
I
Wow.
legit grew up with them. So, I mean, it was such a huge part of my validation of loving the sport that black people didn't love, in making that okay. And then, when they came on the scene, and then having them be so dominant, and then Serena just went on to do things that people couldn't even imagine. So for me, I feel like, I mean, it sounds really dramatic to say like part of my life is over, but it kind of is. Like, this was a huge part of my life for a really, really long time. It meant a lot to me. It excited me. It hurt me at times. I loved everything about it. I am absolutely fine, Reels, that you feel like she hasn't shown up lately. I don't care. If we're being honest, she's never fully been on tour, ever. It's just that she was younger and she was good enough and she was able to show up when she wanted to and dominate the fuck out of everybody. And now she's too old to do that. If she wants to play for 5 more years and lose first round every single time, I am 100% okay with that. We have known that for many years, as we have watched her physically decline and not be, as quick in her foot, and her serves aren't as good. She can't always serve herself out of a place. We've watched this all happen, and this is what happens to athletes as they age. It's inevitable. It is father time. But I have been happy that she's still just been on court. And I'm going to be happy this time. And I'm now even more happy that, she's going to play doubles with Venus. Like, I just want to suck it all in. If she decides it's time for her to be done, then it's time for her to be done. But if she wants to play for 10 more years, I'm just going to be happy about it, because it meant so much to me from such a young age to watch her play. And I love everything about it. And I don't, it sucks to see a great champion kind of get pushed out of a sport because they're not that good. I don't believe Serena's not that good anymore. She is. I do think if she wanted to work hard and put in that time on the practice court, that she would still be a top 10 player easily. But that's not where she seems to be in life. And I'm fine with that. But I'm also not going to say, we've been waiting for you to go for a long time, because I haven't. I absolutely have not. I haven't. I'm happy that she's still there. I'm happy that Federer is still there, even though he's not really here, but they say he's coming back for Laver Cup. I don't know. I kind of feel like he might be the coach at this point. I don't know. But I'm taking it all in and
Bob
I'm going
don't
to
say
enjoy
shit.
it.
So Federer's always been the coach. Bob never says anything.
Well, supposedly he's going to get back on the court and hit some balls and try to win some stuff. But I just, it's going to be emotional. I haven't felt like really sad about a sports figure in tennis retiring probably since Andre Agassi. And I know that, there's already younger players that I like, and I'll move on and whatever. But I think it is a big deal, and I think it's okay that the media is making a big deal and that they're wanting to celebrate her and talk about all these things. What I don't want to see is people go, can she win? She's not going to win the U.S. Open. If she does, it's not really going to surprise anybody, because at the end of the day, she's still Serena Williams. But chances are she's going out in round 1 or 2. I mean, let's be honest. That's just what's probably going to happen. But I'm okay with that.
Okay, Janina threw down the emotional Uno card, and Bill's gotta go 5 steps back. Okay, Janina says, and I agree. And Janina, let me just clarify: everything that you said is wonderful. It's true, and I am on board with all of that. I'm just gonna say I didn't say we were waiting for you to retire. I'm just
You
saying
did.
it's about time that you go home and
You
go do
said
something
I'm
else.
with Lizzo. It's about damn time.
Damn
It's not
time.
about damn time.
Exactly.
We have said a million times before, we do not retire people on these podcasts. We let them
No,
make their
you
own
have said it a
choices.
million times, Janina. I've never said that.
You're,
You have
you're
said that. And
you
I
are
and
such an
I'm
asshole.
Well, I'm gonna come in and say, well, for me it's
okay. Here we
about
go,
no,
Janina. Put us
no,
back.
not even really. It's for me it's about, like, me. I'm very like proper. I like a closed book. I like closed chapters. I like when people close out. And I was afraid, somebody said, I don't know if you all read some piece. I think maybe Howard wrote it about maybe the idea that some players just don't ever retire, that they just kind of keep their brand alive. And I didn't like that. Partially because I think COVID wreaked havoc on the last couple years of the tour for people who probably had a vision of how they wanted to go out, and they just could never organize it and put it together. And so for me, it's been kind of nice to have Serena have her moment. Like, I think it's important that people close chapters and move into other places and other spaces. And so while I don't know if I'm, because I see, I'm also aware, like, I'm going to be there live first week. And I was thinking to myself, should I sign up? Should I try to get into Ash? Should I try to see the last match? I think for me, it feels good enough that if I'm on the grounds when it happens. I was on the grounds when Serena and Venus had that match a few years ago at the US Open. Remember when the US Open was like the thing for the Williams sisters, right? We actually created an entire Saturday night special all around the fact that they used to meet in finals and built an
Yep.
entire programming around that. I think if there's a memory that I have is how much that matchup completely changed broadcasting of tennis. Right? Like, I mean, that was a real thing. And so they stopped meeting in finals and
Broadcasting of women's tennis.
women's tennis,
That
not men's tennis for
women.
sure, but definitely women's tennis, right? Like, they made it evening watching, prime time watching. That was a big deal. And that was before I even really understood how much money people make from selling those time slots. I didn't really intimately understand that. Now I have a better sense of it as an adult, but as a young person, I didn't really understand how powerful it was that these two Black girls could command evening viewing on primetime TV, and how much money everyone was making out of that. I just didn't really understand that. And I think, remind me, Reels, because you always know the dates. There was a time when Venus and Serena were meeting I guess in a quarters or in a third round or something silly. And everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's like back in the day when we were meeting." And I didn't have seats for the match.
2016. I think they met in
Was
the
it 2000
quarterfinals around
something like
the
that, right?
16. Yeah.
And the ground was
So,
buzzing. The ground was absolutely buzzing, and it was charged. And we just have not had that kind of vibe on the women's side in a really long time. I mean, I think the last time that's slightly comparable is Serena and Osaka, and frankly, it's always a black player. It's Coco and Osaka. It's Coco and somebody. You know, that's the vibe that you get where there's just like outside interest, casual fans, locals, as you say. Say moi. But so I remember that, and I was like, it was just good to be on the grounds. You know, it was good to be on the grounds. I'm not always a big fan of like the crowd coming in to crowd you out of the space that you want to be in, because the tickets are suddenly more expensive than they normally would be. People who don't even really care but just want to be there for the moment are pushing you out of good seats. You know, all of that is happening. But it was good to be on the grounds, and it was good to feel the history of the moment. But for me, Serena's retirement is more about just closing that chapter and moving on and giving fans the breathing room to say, hey, this time is ending, and for them to really sit with all the I've enjoyed listening to people and watching people on Twitter talk about the impact of Serena. It's been interesting to watch quote unquote mainstream press come to terms with the fact that they had been so bad to Serena all along, and actually having to sort of come to terms with the fact that she's truly an icon in some ways for them, and have to deal with that, have to bite their tongue. I think it's been interesting to watch. Who's the Aussie woman who's helping Serena? I guess she's always been a cheerleader for Renee Stubbs, but I don't know. I've always felt like she's been a little bit of a mixed bag for Serena, but it feels like I feel like what's happened for Renee Stubbs is she's definitely leaned into feminism, I think, in the last several years. And I think she now understands what Serena represents for women, not necessarily specific over Black women, but, you know, we'll take it what we can get. But I think she really understands the value of Serena going out in a weird way on top, and with the best probably memory of the US Open. And frankly, let's be real honest, the US Open has not been a really generous space for Serena. It's been a space that's made her really uncomfortable for a really long time.
And it's a place that she's dominated. Both the Williams sisters have dominated.
Yeah, they've dominated, and it's their home slam. But like Indian Wells, it hasn't really been a friendly slam. And it's only within, I'd say, the last 4 or 5 years, because Reels and I were with that Caroline Wozniacki match versus Serena, and I couldn't tell who the crowd was leaning for. Yes, I could. They were definitely leaning for Caroline Wozniacki, which was weird. But, you know what I mean? I just think, not that they can't. I'm just saying, like, this slam is her home slam, and it's always had a sort of dubious history. She's had dodgy calls here. All kinds of things have happened. So I don't know. It's just been kind of, I want her to have the story that she wants to have, because I want that for all of my, all the people who have made people happy. You know, like, I want them all to have the storybook, not necessarily winning, but actually just coming out and competing well, which is why me, because I'm not an athlete, I was just hoping she would do doubles. I was hoping she would do doubles and in with women and doubles with men and ride this wave and just enjoy it. But I don't get the feeling that Serena is going to enjoy herself out here in this tournament, and that makes me sad. But I can't control that. I
agree with that 100%, that I don't feel like she's going to enjoy her singles swan song, because it's going to be kind of ugly. I mean, I don't expect her to get far.
I don't know. Listen, Janina, let me just tell you something. We're going to get to it next, but the draw was generous to her. I think it's a generous draw.
Very generous.
It is generous, and sometimes that's enough to trip people up.
I know, right? I know. But it's generous enough that I see the work that she's been putting in, and I see the training, and I see, you know, and I know Emma probably shocked the wazoo out of her in Cincy. But it's a generous enough draw that I think if she could just play within what she's capable of, I think she could be around for at least a couple rounds. I really do.
I mean, I hope so. I want to see it because I'm greedy, but I'm not expecting it. You know, I'm not expecting it.
For sure.
You know, I'll tell you what I don't want. I do not want her to fuck up and lose in the first round. She's never, ever, ever lost in the first round at the US Open. I don't want it to
Ooh.
happen here. And
Ooh.
I feel like there's so much pressure coming from so many different avenues that
Mhm.
she could totally fizzle out in the first round. And we're going to hear forever about how Serena
Yeah.
Williams lost her last match in the first round at the US Open. That had never happened in history, blah, blah, blah. I don't want that to overshadow what she's done, even for 5 fucking minutes. Because
I
this
get it.
woman
Yeah.
is amazing, you know,
Yeah.
and let's celebrate her and be happy with whatever it is we have left. You know, and she did prepare us. She let that article out. She probably wrote that a while ago. And I just do
She
want
didn't
to
write
point
that.
out that it fucking, well, she may not have written it, but she guided it. But she, you know, it does fucking suck that she's like, basically I have to choose between my family and a sport that I love. And that sucks. That
I
really,
don't. I
really
don't.
fucking sucks.
You know what? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. It's time. It's her body. The sport
No,
isn't
that's
forcing her
fine.
to choose
But
that. That's
but
just age. Aging says that.
well, age is doing that because she wants to have another child. She's already old to have
That's true.
another
To have a
child.
child for sure.
So that's the problem that I have with it. We as women have to decide often, do I want to further my career, or can I take time out of my career to have a baby? We got fucking men over here, babies all. Nick Cannon's about to have his 10th baby. He took no time off.
I mean, listen, I totally get that, but for me, that's sort of like arguing a little bit with biology. I don't think that if there is somebody who could take advantage of all the things that are really possible for you to take advantage of, it is a Serena, right? But
I
this is
don't
real. No, but
disagree that
this
it's
is really
biology. I just think
no.
it sucks.
It sucks, but that's why I don't quibble with it, because it's not society, right? She's got as much money as one could. She has as much support as one could possibly have. This is fundamentally just the thing that we all have in common with Serena as women. It's our biology. This is how it's constructed. And this is
Yeah,
one
we
of the
got
this is
screwed.
this is one of the very things that equalizes her with us. And so I'm okay with that. The dynamic that I think she was encouraging in that piece around like having to choose, I was like, it's not really a choice, hun, because it's your body that's making you have to make this choice. Because in all other aspects, you're actually quite privileged. You have access to resources. You have access to a nanny if you want it. You have access to support if you want it. You have the best situation. And frankly, guess what? Biology says no. That's the ultimate win. That's the ultimate claim that your body has. The body wins, right? And so I want that for her. If she wants to go and have a child, and again, it was a really difficult first pregnancy, so it makes sense that she would do everything she possibly can to have the next phase of her life. I mean, we won't talk about men who are able to bleed themselves dry and get as much out of it, football guy, as possible, because they have a ton of supports. And frankly, yeah, for the men, they drop the seed and that's all they have to do. um, but it's just, it is what it is. My hope is that she feels comfortable leaving the sport. That's always what I hope for people.
I hope so too. That's all
Yeah.
you can
I
want for
just
somebody.
That you like, right? That for me, that's what I'm thinking about with
Yeah, I
all the
mean,
athletes that are
listen,
leaving the sport, is that
if
you all
if
brought us so much joy that I want you to have joy exiting the thing that brought us so much joy. I don't want you to stick around in a prolonged fashion. Andy Murray, I don't want any of that, like where it looks like you can't. I mean, I'm
say
sorry.
something, Janina. Say
I'll
something. Say
listen. I'll
something,
be
Janina.
real honest about it. It's not me retiring somebody, but I will just say real honestly, because I have a strong ego. Listen, honey, I need you to feel like you're leaving healthy. I need to feel like you've created other things that are interesting for you that you can go and enter. The idea that you're clinging to the sport because it's the only thing you know how to do strikes me as a little bit,
well, we
desperate.
know that that's not the
And I
case with
think you
Serena.
Not for Serena.
you know
Not for Serena.
but that's interesting because I really thought that Serena would have left the sport a while ago because of other interests. And then I see her in the
But why
sport
would she
holding on.
though? She did it all
But
along. She always kept them
yes,
all going, right?
she
And
she was
she's
being successful. She was
Yep.
being successful, right? I mean, like I mean, you can't say anything more convincing to me than even though she had a fire sale in those last 4 finals after having a baby, she just showed the WTA, I am a 35 plus year old woman. I just dropped a baby, and y'all still tripping up over me. Okay. I'm only tripping up over myself, giving away 4 finals.
But that's what
But
greatness looks like.
but and I have to say that, but Janine, I want to push back on just a tiny thing that you said about you don't want them to say these things about Serena, etc. Here's the interesting thing, like a prophet is never great in his own land. And I think what you're fighting against is something that happens to everyone, that how they're being written about and how they're being spoken about by, like mass media, public and whatever. And we can say that, particularly in the age of social media, it's all an agenda filled thing. Everything is skewed towards how much quote unquote engagement, good or bad or indifferent engagement, I'm going to get. And it doesn't, I think you can't buy into that. I'll be bound by the nonsense that you may read or people may write about, whatever. You just have to engage with your champion as you know your champion. I mean, we're old enough or seasoned enough, as I tell my siblings. We're not old, we're seasoned. We're seasoned enough to have been around Serena when she was wearing braids and braces, okay? Like beads and braces. Like we know when they became pros. So we have enjoyed them and seen the full cycle. We've seen a lot of them. And we don't have to, we are smart enough not to necessarily have to buy into what the naysayers would say and what other people would say, and then the kind of fraction that actually comes, because we know a lot of things that are being said oftentimes it just don't make any sense, even when they're not even talking about Serena. That much of the people who are engaged in tennis and being made to write about tennis don't know anything about tennis. So I think
don't disagree with that. I don't
so I
disagree
don't
with
think
that.
we don't need to put that into our brains. People want to say
No,
shit
but
all the time.
you and I both know that if by chance Serena goes out in the first round, and she has never lost at the first round at the US Open in her entire career, that's not happened. That's going to be the headline. When it really that I get it, because that's what the media does. I'm just saying it's bullshit, because if she loses in the first round, we also know that this is her final match. So let's focus on her career. Let's focus on how great it's been. Let's not focus on the fact that this is her last tournament, this was her last match, and she lost in the first round, and she's never done that before. I know that's what it would look like, and I'm just not here for it.
Yeah, because they're going to make it a significant story
Andre
line for
Agassi lost
themselves.
to Benjamin Becker at the US
Exactly.
Open.
But Andre Agassi was practically getting pushed out in a fucking wheelchair at the end of his career. He
But I'm
couldn't walk. His back was all jacked up. I mean, Serena's not hobbling. She's just not as fit and as quick and as consistent.
hobbling.
I mean,
she
she's
kind of
not
is.
hobbling.
She kind of
I
is.
don't think she's hobbling.
I mean,
Cut
listen,
it out.
no, listen. I believe that she's
there's a
little
famous
bit more
there's a
hobbled than the
famous
idea that she's not. I know, like Michael just put in the chat, that she's not been working on her fitness, and it shows. I don't really understand what the mythology of what a woman's body is supposed to be able to do at a certain age continues to astound me about that idea. I think she's as fit as she possibly can be. I don't know.
No,
being
I don't agree with that.
I mean, I think that because listen, the last time we saw Serena, she got kicked out of Wimbledon. Well, the previous to last time we saw her, she was injured for a good while. She has a ton of strapping on her leg. I don't believe that this is a woman who's 100% body fit to be able to do the kind of training that people are seeing.
Fair point. I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying that she couldn't be fitter, but I don't.
Were you about to say Rafa, who gets Novocaine shots in his feet?
Listen,
no. Remember, Serena was injured. She fell on. She sprained her leg or something.
You know me. I'm not comparing Serena to Rafa. I think Rafa gives people a false sense of what's possible around for an injured body. He's always done that. Rafa's the one that comes back from an injury that is taking people out of the sport in 2 weeks. So we need to listen. Rafa and James Blake had the same injury that caused James to retire. So I'm just saying, I think
Rafa is magic.
Exactly. What I think is happening in the sport is that we have these false ideas of what's possible for athletes. And which is why I like it when an athlete is injured, that they take some time and they go away from the sport and they properly take their body into consideration. And then they come back when they're better, and they let the public know that, guess what? It takes 6 weeks to actually do this, not 2 weeks or not 10 days like some people do. So I'm just saying that I think the last time that Serena was really 100% fit and had the capacity to work on her fitness, I would say it's probably I would say most likely the asymmetrical bodysuit era is probably that. That was
The
probably it.
green
That
thing at the
no,
Australian
no,
Open.
the red, the blue, the red thing that when she lost to
Damn,
Osaka.
that
That
was a
was a
while
while
ago.
ago. I think so. I think that was the only time when it
She
didn't
lost
seem like
Osaka
she
in the
had it.
pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. 2021, I think it was. So I don't think she was. I don't think I heard
2020.
any ningling ish. I didn't think I heard any ningling like injury underlying anything. She could have just been fitter. Do you know what I mean? So I just think that that's my sense of her, is that this is a person who is not, her body is not 100%. And therefore, she's not able to practice to the degree that some people want her to, and she's not moving that well. And so, I mean,
And
those are
maybe
the
she might not want it as much as she wanted it before.
But I don't even know. I don't even if I need to make those
Knowing that
kinds of judgment. I just think that we need to make it's okay for someone to be
we
physically
need to
not
take a
there.
physical thing.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't think we need to do that. I'm going to force my body into a thing. I think your body can bounce back when you're younger. I think your body can do all kinds of things when it is
Absolutely.
young
Yep.
and newborn. And
Absolutely.
it is not that body anymore. And I know that women are finally confronting the fact that they have women's bodies, because now maybe with the new, with the new sponsor on the WTA side, they're talking about periods, they're talking about fibroids, they're talking about all the different things that are unique to women's bodies. I just think that we need to understand that women's
Unique to
bodies.
cis women bodies.
Yes, I mean, yes, they're talking about cis women's bodies, but that's who we talk about in the sport. Until we talk about trans bodies in
Right.
this sport, it's a different thing. But we're talking about cis women's bodies at the moment, cis women's bodies that have delivered babies and that have had horrible things happen while they were delivering babies. We're not talking about the elasticity that people think is going to happen with bodies. We just have to talk about that in a realistic way. And we don't have an accurate portrait of how women's bodies actually develop. We really don't. And so part of what you're seeing is youth, right? Like look at Emma. Emma's body is a certain type of body, even though she's young, right? It breaks down quite quickly.
Well,
Bianca's body breaks down. And,
but you know what? Serena
interesting to
doesn't.
think about.
I mean, in researching this podcast today, and I'm looking at pictures of Serena over the years. I mean, her body has changed drastically because that's what happens as you age. You know, 10, 15 years ago, she was much more lean and thin and slender. She didn't have
And she
the
can play
boobs that
herself
she
into a
has.
tournament.
She could play herself into a tournament after that, even though, but early on, I'm just talking about her physical physique. I mean, it looks like a completely different person. It really does. She was very thin, but as we age and mature, and our your bodies change, and you carry your weight differently. And I mean, Serena's by no means fat,
The makeup of the fat in your body is
but
different.
where it lands is very different.
I
And
don't understand this idea about Serena is obviously not been working on her fitness. Why? What are the constraints around that? What is happening? And the idea that, oh, Jamaican runner had a body, running is very different. And let's not
very different.
do that thing where we're like looking at other
But
women and
we,
then
as
holding
women,
them
as
up.
we age, your body changes no matter what you do.
And
No
a
matter
tennis
what you
player's
do,
body is different
it
from it's a different
changes.
sport. It's a different sport. It's a completely
So,
different sport.
we're going to get back to Serena, but we are here for a draw show, and we should
Yes.
probably talk
But
about the draws.
we can, but I just want to put a fine point.
She's like, if we
No,
must.
we must, but I want to put a fine point on the idea that we don't have a lot of practice talking about women's bodies in such a way that it doesn't become misogynistic.
Hmm.
And so I'm not saying, I don't think anyone on our comments or anyone on this podcast has been doing that, but I do think that there's like a really tricky and fine line between recognizing that women's bodies, cis women's, as Reels is really happy to helpfully denote to us, really progress differently, and we
They
don't
do.
publicly talk about that, and we don't
No, we
comfortably
don't.
share it, because what usually happens is it's an opportunity to sort of slam women's for the very ways their bodies naturally
I'm going to
progress.
tell y'all what it is. It's called estrogen, and it changes. And it changes. And people who never in their lives had a little belly pooch find that they
Suddenly.
have one that they can't fucking get rid of. I mean, it's just the natural course of life.
You know,
And
I saw
and that
Andreen.
means that we can't do it. What did you see me do?
Andreen was at Diana Ross,
Yes.
and Diana Ross was a hanger back in the day. She was a clothes hanger, clothes just draped over Diana Ross.
Yep.
And there was Diana Ross in her fullness, you know, doing her thing, enjoying her life. So things change, you know. I'm not saying, you know, but I just wanna
And you're
before
right,
we
Michael.
get,
You're right. Everyone is genetic.
But
Yeah,
Venus
that's
is
true.
also heavier than we've ever
Never
seen
but
seen
her.
her.
I just
That's
wanna
Ever.
true.
add that, you know, the body always wins.
Stop
And
it. Not according to the men's tennis side. So let's just stop that.
and
And
I'm
let's
going to
move
tell you,
forward.
look. We got Michael Phelps. You couldn't be fitter. You couldn't be fitter as fuck as Michael Phelps. And he's going to tell you the mind, the body itself breaks down. You
Yeah.
know, like it just does. And that's a man who only needed to peak like 2 weeks in a year, every other
Right.
year, right?
I
Right.
will. Can I just say though? And then we can go straight into the draw about it, because I think it's a good segue. The last match we saw of Serena playing Emma. I will just tell you, when I saw Emma out there, I was like, this little 14-year-old is just running around, galloping out there. And Emma's not even the fittest of her genre. Let's be honest, right? like of that era, right? Because you get her
Right.
running and she breathes heavy very quickly, and that body breaks down. But it was just, it was in that moment I was just suddenly struck by how youth was on Emma's side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
For
just was
sure.
like, oh my gosh, this like I just you forget it because you have watched these players conquer mountains so often, but then suddenly you're watching and objectively, youth is just on so many of these players' side. Maybe not talent, maybe not skill, but this is one of the dirty secrets that tennis never likes to admit, which is that its sport is also about body
Physical.
and physicality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they
You
always
know
like,
what?
oh no, people can't dope in this sport because it's such a skill-based sport.
Oh,
Honey, if
exactly.
you want to grind out there for 2, 3, 4 hours,
But you know,
it's a whole ball game. So it's interesting.
but you should just say that because I'm thinking back, Steffi Graf 1999, and Steffi in the very late 90s when the Williams sister come. She's one of the fittest women. She's one of the fittest female athletes ever. Just put that. Steffi Graf could have been a track athlete. She's one of those fit athletes,
Yeah, her body's
a
type.
German product, of these thing, of the secret, organization, wink, wink.
Reels, stop
But anyway,
it right now. Stop it.
Steffi Graf was a very fit person, right? She was very, very fit. And the young girls were running her. Steffi Graf used to just roll up in the semis, and that's when she has to play, right?
I know. That's
Let's
life.
be honest.
That's life.
You
though.
could have go back and watch those score lines. A lot of these ladies, a lot of those back in the day, they were just rolling
She
up
was
into the second week.
She was a bagel, one.
I mean,
breadstick here.
she was making schnitzels and pretzels, and she was having a little bake shop. And and she lost, like I said, 1999 Wimbledon finals to Lindsay Davenport, who no one is gonna say is the fittest girl ever at any era, at any period, right? And she isn't the person who's gonna run anybody ragged. But I think Steffi didn't win a set in that final. She did not win a set. And Steffi had just come off of winning the French Open, beating Martina Hingis. And the ball was out. Martina was right. I hate to say it, but she was right. The ball was out. But you know what? She lost her shit, and the French crowd doing what Le Français does, They got her good. And I love it. And Martina never won a French Open ever. Never.
Oh, I know you all are such Martina haters. I hate to admit that I was a Martina stan, and this is the controversial topic on the podcast, but I am.
No, it's not
Martina
actually.
Hingis
It's
stan.
well
I love
deserved.
her.
It's well deserved. It's well deserved.
I really
But I
like
gotta
her
say,
tennis.
but I'm gotta say though, Martina let Jenny from the C Block win 2 Australian Open in a row. And for that, she will never be forgiven
Fair
after
enough.
being a set up and the break. Martina, Martina,
Uh, yeah, I mean,
we're
I think
looking
their
at you,
body.
girl.
Yeah, I think to your point, Michael, their bodies are all doing different things. I mean, I saw Kim Kleister's trying to make the return.
Yes.
It's just not easy.
Oh,
It's not that easy. You know, depending on the body that you have, the body's going to either help you in the early parts of your career or hinder you in the latter parts. And at this
and
point in time,
nothing your mind tells you to do will
what's going to
get that
help you
over.
get that over? Yeah.
And as someone, and I'm just saying, I go to the gym, almost every day, and trying this new thing, like, and my mind is just like, yeah, you could squat this weight, you can squat it, and I can squat the weight, right? And then my body is just like, bitch, don't you dare.
Well, that
I
might
will
be one of the
collapse under
most
you.
useful thing that Chris Everett has ever said. And I'm not to say that Chris Everett doesn't say a lot of interesting things, but it's the most useful thing she's ever said to my mind listening was when she talked about what your mind wants to do in a match, and then what your body will allow you to do. And she says that's the difficult part of aging, is that you can still see the tennis court the way you want to play it in your mind's eye, but you can't
see
do
the
it.
point, and you're not getting there. And that's what I saw with Serena versus Serena latest matches.
In Emma,
is that
for
I see
sure.
what she wants to do,
But
and
she
I'm
can't.
just like, girl, you are 3 steps behind.
Yep.
No, I
just
feel
too
like
late
that when it's
behind
time
that
to clean
ball.
the house.
Fair enough.
I'm like, I can do all this and I'm good. And then I'm like, I can't do no more. I'm done.
I just like, it's like,
Bless.
your mind says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and then your body be like, no, bitch. It's not happening today.
Well, let's return to
The flesh is, the mind is willing, but the flesh is weak.
It's
It's not happening today.
very weak. So we're doing all
Anyway.
things Serena, and we are starting with the men's side. So we all decided when we say all things Serena, it meant that we were inspired by various things that is Serena. The closest approximation to what we're about to do is how we deal with the top 6, which is we took Serena in the direction we all wanted to take her. So I'm eager to hear from my co-hosts, the Moses as Real says, how you all took Serena. Where'd y'all go with Serena in these draws? Starting with the men, and before I even get into it, I'd like to just admit that I'm disgusted that her catch is at the top of my sheet too. But
I knew that. I was watching. I was just waiting for Andre. Hubby. I don't know. I mean, I know exactly what you did, but you know what? There's just absolutely nothing you can do other than saving Andre's mother and her sister from a burning building. Donating a kidney
you will not
to them.
bagel Federer at Wimbledon and live to tell it. I wish nothing good for you ever.
Listen to me. Delpa used to be in Andrine's pocket. She used to be an Andrine boy, and then
oh yes,
2009 finals, and then he had the audacity to follow that up.
I can only have one fave. You can only have one fave. Who has 2?
Oh Lord.
Like sociopaths have 2.
Oh wow.
But,
crazy.
So
no, I'm kidding.
I have to say, to the men's side of it, because I don't want us to squeeze the lady out. We can just run through this men's thing because it's gonna just inevitably end up being Medvedev and Rafa in the finals.
Look at you calling it.
Wow.
But I would say on the top side, I basically said, Hawkeye, I have to keep an eye on the top side of the draw. In reference to that 2006, I think it was, or 2005 U.S. Open, Mariana Alves.
Oh
the
my
ball
God.
is in.
You do
So
not.
Hawkeye, and for the bottom half of the draw, I just simply says, like, this is the buried career Serena. This is where, like,
wow, you didn't even talk about matches. You're just like, I got the top and the half,
I'm just saying how I broke it down. How I just broke it down. Because the men, it's just like, this is the side where it's like, there are a lot of people, Janina, don't like for me to use the R word, people who may need to go home and take a nap, just go on some vacation, take vacation early, okay? But they're still here, and there's some people who would like them to take some vacation. So this is kind of what the future of the ATP might be, but you never know with the ATP because no one goes home at the ATP Looking at you, Andy Murray.
Oh
You
my
But you
are.
know,
That is so funny you
wow.
said that because that's exactly to a T. I did the Medvedev quarter. I called it the unattractive on the inside quarter because I
Oh shit.
I saw a future fourth round between Medvedev and Kyrgios.
oh yes, I have that too.
Right, that's my that was leading, that was controlling my vision, and then the bottom quarter of this same half, I have a Steph versus Mateo, and I have the famous, infamous Justine Henna debacle. Both the Henin piece and the Yankovic piece, which is Henin was cheating, and then Serena coming back and saying, "I would never cheat like that." Justine to Yankovic. So my
I'm not. I'm not
interpretation,
just Steve.
I'm not Justine. So what I did was for the men's draw, I found really infamous Serena Williams quotes, and I basically face planted them to different sections of the draw. And so that's hilarious that you did Marian Alvarez for Medi and Kyrgios because I did the same thing to that section. See, Serena's spirit
Oh
lives on
shit.
in the sport. Nobody ever is going to be able to say unattractive in the inside and not think of Serena Williams.
No,
They need
never,
to say that more
never.
often, though.
Oh my god.
What about you, Janina? Take us about your top half. Well, how did you characterize it?
So I was bored.
Uh-huh.
I wanted some excitement, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like we get any until that possible fourth round matchup between Medvedev and Kyrgios. And I just found like the first few rounds to be so blah.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, I couldn't come up with anything. I didn't even fucking label it. I
It's
was
a
like,
bad section.
it's just stupid. There's nothing here that I'm excited about other than that possibility. I feel like we're gonna have to wait and see which Curios shows up,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Especially
gonna
for that
depend on.
first round match, right? Like if he falls
Well,
flat in the Kokonakis match, then you've got
yeah, and it could
Kokonakis, and
happen.
then
I
that's like,
feel
ooh.
I'm hoping for a hungry Nick. I'm hoping for someone who feels like they have something to prove, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that we get good Nick. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I do have that match with Kyrgios and Kokonakis highlighted, but whew, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I watched Kokonakis a little bit in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
He looked good.
He looks fit, and he knows Nick's game. So the question
Exactly. So that's
is it a riot?
dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. It's dangerous. I expect Kyrgios to come out of that. He should come out of that. But is anybody going to be super surprised if he doesn't? I don't think so.
Nope. And aside from that matchup, there's nothing in this section that is raising my pulse at all.
Nothing. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing.
Now, ATP stands, tell us that we're wrong about that little
Please.
quarter.
Please, because listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't like anything about this side of the draw.
I mean, even Felix, even Sleepy Felix is here. Which this is, if Felix does not consider this draw a gift, I don't know what is.
I fully expect him to get to the quarterfinals
against Medi, like he did last year. I think it was the quarters that or maybe it was the semis that he actually faced.
Well, I don't really know that there's anybody here to stop him from getting to the quarterfinals. He'll either get Kyrgios or Medvedev in the quarterfinal, and honestly, he could beat either one of them if he plays well, but is he going to play well? So I don't know. He's probably got a better chance of beating Kyrgios than he does Medvedev.
Yes,
I think.
for sure.
However, he could win. He could win that match. So I don't know. It's just dumb. In the bottom part, I was looking at Serena's because we had talked about her outfits through the years, and I labeled this basic bitches. And
oh my God, you and Reels too.
But the Serena kit that I had in my mind, I don't know what year it was. I didn't write that down, but it was US Open, and it was just like a basic pink leopard that I felt like you could go to like Rue 21 and buy.
No, not even Rue 21. Charlotte Rossi. Charlotte.
Yeah, there you go. Wait, remember the old store rave? And like honestly, there's nothing down here that excites me either. Not a
Oh
damn
my God,
thing.
Tony, you are hilarious. Tony was like 2014 because he knows all the
Of
Serena
course he
kits by his
knows.
heart. I'm
Of
sure.
course he knows.
I love it. Yeah, that kit looks like it was cheap. I'm sure it was extremely expensive, but I know that look.
Super cheap. Yeah. It looked just stupid and basic and this I mean we could have labeled this whole side of the draw basic bitches, but
Yes, it is the I have a section of the women's draw that is that dress. But yes, this is I mean this section of the draw is for Stefanos and Matteo and Fritz and Corda to battle out,
I
right?
feel like this entire half of the draw, except well, maybe not the top half, but the bottom half, this is the opportunity for somebody to come out of here and make a name for themselves other than Sissy Paws. If somebody can trip him up, whoever comes out of this can
Well,
really like say, "Hey, I'm here."
Well,
Because we've
Matteo
got some
already did it. Matteo already said he was here a couple years ago. So this is Fritz and Corda, right? This is time for Fritz and Corda to
Oh my
say,
god.
I'm thinking
yeah.
Fritz and Rudd.
Rude.
I-
Mhm.
Rude,
I
Rudd, whatever
forgot.
his name
Rude.
Oh
is.
my god.
What?
Corda exists? Oh my god.
Yes, Corda's down here. I mean,
I had
or it could
Fritz
be Tommy Paul, or it could be Tommy
and
Paul.
Tommy
But I'm
Paul.
just saying.
I have
It's
Fritz
not
and
going to
Tommy
be
Paul.
Tommy Paul. Let's be real.
Okay, before
Look.
we finish out this little section, who are your quarterfinalists so we can move through?
Wow,
this
we're jumping that. Wait, hold
no,
up.
no, just for this half. Who do you see
Oh.
making out of this battle for you?
So for my quarterfinals right now, I have Medvedev, Felix, Sissy Potts, Fritz.
Fritz.
That's what I've
Okay,
got.
Same
Yeah.
exact thing.
Okay.
What do you have, Reels? Because I know your ass.
I have
plays sometimes.
Medvedev.
I would love a Cressy upset. Let's just put that out there. Would
Where
I
love
do
have
it.
Medvedev. I have PCB.
What? That's not a bad
Stop
idea. Listen,
It is a
PCB
horrible idea.
he's been to the semis, right? Might have
How
even
long
been to
ago
the
was that?
finals, which was really painful to see. But yes, that's when he got into Nick's. Well, that's when he and Nick started fighting because Nick was like, "How's he getting this far?" But yes, PCB I think has gone very deeply at the UCO.
I
the US
mean,
Open. Go ahead, Real. Sorry, finish out the.
I
your
don't
other.
trust. I don't trust. I don't like Stefanos. I'd never want to see him win. So just,
I trust.
you know,
I trust Mark Philippoussis to get him.
I think
Do
Stefanos
you?
and I have
love
a
it.
Serena Maria relationship, but you never gonna win again, like ever,
Oh.
like ever.
Oh, wow.
Is this the
Um,
upset you're looking for, Janina? The
I
Steph
mean,
Well,
I
it-
would,
yeah, it
and
would
I
have
don't
to
trust
be.
Matthew's leg. I mean, yes, I actually don't. I actually didn't even have. I have Maxime in the round of 16. I
So you
mean,
haven't
as
you
to
haven't
what-
getting to.
Oh, you have him getting past Sissy Paws?
Wow.
I mean,
Reels.
I'm
You're
not
real.
even having 65. 65 might not even get out of round 2.
Stop
But
it.
that's another.
Stop it right
He's
now.
not 65 is not well. That boy, whatever
he's
they
doing
His
so
head
much
might not
better.
be well, but his
His
game
tennis
is.
better now. His tennis is getting a little
it's
bit
better
more
now,
to
but
what
I'm
it
telling
was.
you, like you see, everybody. This is the thing about it. You know,
I thought good
the
things was
US
happening
Open,
at Cincy.
the US Open is a different beast.
It is, which is why I
Okay?
don't take anything that George did in Cincy to heart.
Exactly, it's a different beast. Okay, that thing. You listen to me. You gotta be fit. This is why only few people have been the same set of people who have been winning that shit on the men's
What's the
side.
weather like? What's the weather like, y'all? I
Hot.
know that
It's gonna
is it hot there?
it's gonna be hot
Muggy?
and humid as always. US Open,
And
it's just
I saw from the WTA Insider that it felt like the court was playing fast.
Yeah, right. Define fast.
I don't know.
We haven't seen a
Is he
fucking
fast?
fast court.
Yeah.
We
Is
have
he
not
fast?
seen a fast court in like 20 years.
At the
Let's
US
be
Open,
real.
so maybe not. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I don't think Matteo is gonna see Maxime across the net and be like, "I'm gonna let you get to the quarterfinals." Oh,
yeah,
I
we'll
know.
see. Mateo? No,
Um,
Mateo knows. He lost out on a really good chance at Wimbledon. I feel like he should be pretty hungry here.
so Matteo and I have Fritz as my quarterfinalist. I
Look
mean,
at
I am not
you.
a big fan, the America boys, but I think Taylor believes that he is the heir apparent, and he thinks
There's
Jonas
some lean in
Fritz,
it. I mean, he
He
kind
thinks
of
that he-
is, right?
he thinks that
Is
he
he?
can definitely
he
hang.
got he got the farthest of any American at the since Andy Roddick at
And
Wimbledon.
I mean, like,
He's won a
look,
Masters recently,
over Rafa, over Dividal, over
Oh
Dividal.
God.
and he took Rafa to the end, which caused him to withdraw the very next day. So, and he should have
Exactly.
won that match. So I think Fritz thinks he's all up in it. That's why I'm saying
Well,
Yeah,
he
Fritz
should
think-
be. It's
Fritz-
about.
moment.
Listen,
Yes.
there's
It's
your
about that
Lizzo
time.
moment. It's about damn time. That is when it's
Thank
appropriate.
you, Janina. Thank you. Thank you.
I won't take back my words. I won't take it back.
Salty. I love
I
it. So
said
you
what I
have.
said.
Oh, you're so controversial. So tell me, you have Medi versus PCB, and who else do you have in your quarters?
Mateo
in the-
versus Taylor Fritz.
Nice. I would show up for that match.
I wanted for Taylor Fritz, but
It's okay.
where were
It's
you on
okay.
January 6th, boo?
Oh my
Where were you on
Lord!
January 6th?
Yoga.
Oh,
Doing yoga. I don't think he's one of those.
I don't think he's that guy, but we could be wrong.
Listen,
And he's a deadbeat
He is a
dad
white
too,
American.
so
Well,
he's not
stop
a
it.
deadbeat
And
dad. He hangs out with his child. How you know he's deadbeat?
for Instagram.
He doesn't put enough business out on Instagram. All right, second half of that draw.
What's the second? Led by Hercash. Whew.
I know
Hercash
who's
versus-
doing that.
I mean, you mean to tell me you want me to imagine a Hercash versus Rafa semis? Absolutely not, people. That's not happening.
It's not. Yeah.
I mean,
What you got, Real?
Okay.
Oh yeah, what do you
for
call
my-
this section?
I mean, I buried careers, like her cash, we just need cash to go away, okay? But I mean, there's Grego, there is Johnson, there's Goffin, there's Manarino. There's a lot of people here who's been around for a while,
Long time.
and they
Long
should
time.
kind of like go Doc Word, Ramos, Vinolas. These people should, even Yuri Vesely is still out here.
Listen,
Thanks,
grinding
Ennard.
away, doing what he needs to do.
So I think people gotta really step up. Like people gonna be making some decisions at this U.S. Open. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
we've been hanging out too long because this section for me.
So
You
yeah.
remember
So,
Serena's
I mean, for
quote?
me,
Go for it. What is it?
I just put people in the quarterfinals because in the round of 16, rather I should say round of 16. I have Musetti versus Sinner.
Ooh, the quarters.
I have Dan
Nice.
Evans, who has been looking pretty solid. I have to say, he's been looking
Mhm.
solid. He's not doing any nose candy, but you know what? He's figuring out matches, right?
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You have Dan Evans in the quarterfinals?
Not the quarters. It must be round of 16.
Round of
14,
16. Round of 16.
Round 4.
Okay, okay.
I want to get on the Carlos.
Janina was upset about
bandwagon.
that.
I'm like,
I
what
want
the
to get
fuck?
on the Carlos bandwagon, but you see, Carlos hanging out with Dora because we gotta find. I mean,
He
Carlos
gets
is-
lost. He gets lost.
he does this. Where in the world is Carmen in San Diego? Where in the world is Carlos Alcaraz in a match?
Okay,
You know
let
what I
me
mean?
pa-
Like,
let me pause for a moment. I see in the chat that Tony's being very disruptive by telling us that he's wearing Rafa booty shorts in honor of the podcast, and I need pictures of this booty shorts.
No.
because
You
this
don't need
is
pictures.
Not what the way we're
Listen.
going to go down.
Let me tell you
I need
something.
pictures.
I love Tony. Tony and I have been great friends for many, many, many years. He ain't got no booty. You don't want pictures. Tony,
Tony, my
no.
DMs are open. Okay.
Appreciate you, Tony. I appreciate you wearing the Rafa booty shorts in
Nope.
honor of. Okay, Reels is basically saying basic people right now. Okay, what about the bottom?
But I mean, like I've
Reels?
watched them. So for my birthday, I treated myself
Uh-huh.
to renewing my subscription to Tennis TV,
Tennis TV,
WTA.
lovely.
I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing. You see, I could watch a ATP match anytime, anyhow, on my
Listen,
phone.
we already know that.
WTA, get your shit together. I don't want Tennis TV Plus.
So who's in your
Anyway.
round 4 at the bottom? At the bottom quarter.
I have Cam Nori. I have Rublev.
Mm-hmm.
I have Francis Tiafoe. Don't fuck with me, Francis. Don't
Ah!
fuck me.
You're being
Don't fuck with
very
me, Francis.
generous. Very
Because you know
generous.
what? The American boys get this shit together at the US Open. Somehow, some
They
way,
Amen.
generally try. They do try. They
they
do try
generally
there.
try, okay?
They do.
Because the crowd just, the
And
crowds
there's
don't
and
shut
there's
up.
and there's no Federer or Nole to distract them this year. So they're gonna have to be
And
searching.
also, for the casual fans, they just need to see an American flag, and that's it. That's what we're rooting for, and that's easy, basic. Okay,
That's easy. And he's a black boy.
it does
Get it.
Black boy, and
exactly.
he's
It
not
doesn't get
speaking French, so
complicated.
we know exactly what we're doing.
And
That's
TFO
right.
knows how to play with the crowd. He doesn't know how
Yeah.
to sustain and keep the crowd invested. But
Yeah,
crowd, let me tell you something. Francis can't do 4 sets, okay?
we
Francis
just need to
can't
get
do
him
five
over it
sets.
in 3.
You need to be with him. Shout at him, bitch. If it's getting a tiebreaker, close that out. Because you're going to
So
see a bagel in the fifth set.
you have TFO versus Rafa, I'm assuming.
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay. All right,
I mean,
Janina,
because
take us
really,
out
I
of
would
this
like to think
fantasy
that
land that
Fonini,
Reels is living in.
I
So my
mean,
bottom half of this section, I called it the cat suit section
Yes,
because it's
cat
got
suit.
lots of hot bods and booties,
Yes,
and it
yes.
shows off the frame. I don't know how many of those hot bods and booties are going to get out of round 1, but they're there to start. So there we go. I mean, because we got some booties here. We do.
That's true.
We've
Nice
got
booty.
Marco Skiron. We've got
Mhm,
Tiafoe. We've got
mhm,
Fonini. We've got
mhm,
Rafa. We got booty, y'all.
mhm.
However,
I love that.
however, my draw isn't much different than Reels's actually. I've got in round 4 Cam Nori,
thank
Rublev,
you.
Tiafoe, and Nadal.
Wow, you all are very generous to TFO. So I called my little section the Black Heart section. Can't distinguish only because that quote by remember this is a quote draw because that quote has confused many of people. Who's the Black Heart? Was she wrong? It can't be Grigor. There's no Black Heart here. So distinguishing who is a top competitor here and who isn't is real hard. So that's what this little bottom
Yep.
quarter is for me. But if you remember Serena's infamous quote about everyone plays at their greatest when they play me, I also require that in the top half of this section because I think Alcaraz needs to get better and calmer and actually play a straightforward match. I need him to dial in like he's playing the greatest player ever and focus. And I think the same thing for Sinner because I actually don't think Hurkacz is going to be messed up by anybody. So I do actually have Hurkacz in the fourth.
I think Hurkacz is going to get messed up by my center boy.
I hope he gets messed up by Vashka in the second round, but we'll
Well,
see.
so okay, full
I'm hoping
disclosure,
Oscar takes him out.
I
Uh-huh.
did not print my draw with the qualifiers in place.
Oh, that's fine. So the qualifier there is Manarino and yeah, what I have is round of 16. I have Hurkacz versus Sinner. I actually have Chilich versus Alcaraz because I do think
That's what I have too.
Chilich is long. He knows how to do the U.S. Open.
He knows
Um,
how to do the US Open. The draw is not hard for him, and he
Like
likes to silently
2014.
move. He
through
loves to
this draw.
silently move through a draw.
And he was coming good at Cincy, so I was like, okay, you might be getting your game together. Of course, we can't help ourselves with Nori because I definitely think Nori will figure out how to break his nerve serve a few times, or at least do well in a tie break. Rublev, unless Shapo decides that he feels brave this year. But instead of TFO, I have Schwartzman, y'all.
No, I don't see that happening. I don't know why. I just feel like he's not really
Mm-mm.
been around lately.
Diego Reis has been run. It has been run. Okay?
I mean, Schwartzman is definitely that type, but he sometimes has a nice little run at the U.S. Open. He's a grinder. He does know how to play 5 sets. So, and
I don't see. He's not going to get. If he gets past Rublev, I'm going to be trying to call him and ask him what the fuck is wrong with him.
Oh no. He doesn't play Rublev. He'll play Rublev in the quarters if he were to beat Rafa. But he has Rublev. He has to get past. It's Schwartzman versus TFO in the third round.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so now we're good. But I think Rafa sees Fognini too soon. I don't think we have the same Fognini that beat Rafa last time, right?
We don't, but you never. I have that match starred because you just never fucking know. Fognini can take Rafa out. Is it likely to happen? He absolutely does. They have a long history. He's beaten him before.
That is Rafa's corner. That is.
It could happen,
Rafa,
man. It could happen.
Rafa Fognini is like Serena and Cornet. Cornet gonna be like, you know what? I'm a messy bitch. I'm gonna be messy.
I mean, also, he might take out Rafa and he's going out in the next round, and that's okay.
That's very okay. But Fognini, what people forget is that the US Open has a huge Italian contingency, far bigger than Spanish contingency. So
yeah.
So if Fognini decides he wants to play and get past Karatsev, it might be interesting. Might be, but Rafa is coming with bionic legs, so he'll be all right.
Bionic feet now. It's feet, no longer legs.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think it's early days because Rafa is the kind of person who plays himself into form. So it's early enough that it could be a disruptive 4-setter, I say.
It could even be 5. It really could.
Yeah. Yep.
Have we heard about Rafa's feet? Tony, I'm counting on you to come through about Rafa's feet.
It's not the feet, it's the ab.
Is that what we're doing now? It's always something.
It looks to me like Rafa's okay. I think he's been practicing full throttle.
He's always okay. That's what we don't talk about.
I mean, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be competitive. Listen, now that Djokovic is not around, I think it'll be very, very competitive. And I think it'll be interesting.
Just real quick before we move on to the women, did you miss Novak in this draw? I didn't.
Oh, so where would Novak have been? He would have been. He's not the number 1, right? So who's he now? What is he? 3?
Yeah, I don't. So probably
Medvedev is still number 1. I thought without Novak in it.
Is he number?
I think he still would have been number 1. So I think. I mean, I can't. What is Novak's current ranking? Let me just look at it because I can't tell what that dude is doing. Do we want to have a momentary political break? Reels, make your position known. Janina, make your position known. But then we will move on. What do we think about Novak not playing U.S. Open?
I actually had a drug rep last week. Was talking to me. It came up that we have this podcast or whatever, and he was very intrigued. And he's not a tennis fan, but knows he's a casual fan, right?
Oh, Djokovic is number 6, by the way. Sorry.
Okay, and he said, I think he says, I think vaccination is he leads by saying, I'm fully vaxxed, I'm boosted. Well, of course you are. You work for a fucking pharmaceutical company.
Exactly.
But he's like, I think Bear was the company. But he says, I think, that it should be personal choice, blah, blah, blah. He goes, what do you think about
public health? Public health is always personal choice.
He says, I don't know that I agree with him with Djokovic not being able to play in tournaments because he's not vaccinated. And I said, listen, I don't disagree that it's a personal choice as to whether or not you want to get vaccinated. It is fully your choice, but you have to move within the parameters of that choice. I said, but my biggest problem, I said, and I'm not going to go, and I said, I'm not going to go on about this, but I'm going to tell you where I stand. Novak Djokovic does not get to show up in a fucking country and pull all his privilege to try to play. I said, this motherfucker got the highest court in Australia to meet on a goddamn Sunday because he wanted to hit a ball. Yet he was being held in a building where people had been there for a decade. And he shows up and can get in front of the judge to make his case to hit a ball. I said, that's not okay. That is not okay. That is privilege, white privilege at its highest. And he knew the rule before he got there. So it wasn't even a mistake. Oh, I misunderstood or whatever. He knew damn well that he was not eligible to play, and he shows up and pulls all this shit. I said, so no, I don't think that he should just be able to go play. If you choose not to get vaccinated, then you are making also the decision that you're not going to play in certain spaces. And it is
Yeah.
what it is. That's
Yeah.
it. That is it. And you got to be okay with that. Don't try to fucking fight the system and ask someone to make an exception for you. Period. So no, I won't miss him. I don't want an exception to be made for him. None of that. Keep your ass wherever you are right now. I don't like you anyways.
Well, one of the things I saw somebody said, I think it was a reporter from I won't blow up her spot from the UK, saying that they didn't even check her vaccine. And all I kept thinking to myself was, if this person had not been public about not being vaccinated, I don't think anyone would know he wasn't vaccinated if he wanted to enter the country. You actually don't have to show proof of vaccination to enter the country, do you? Or if you do, it's not
Actually,
particularly
you see,
vigilant. You're not
It depends on who
first of all,
screens you, I think. I
right?
honestly think
the,
it
the,
depends on who
you
screens
see,
you.
I know who exactly that woman is. I don't
I
even know
know
her
you saw it.
name to
Yeah,
even blow
yeah,
her spot up.
yep.
But I clarified to her, I said, ma'am, in order for you to buy the ticket, you had to state that you were vaccinated. No one is
Which
coming to
ticket? The
check your
flight?
vaccine is true. But you had to say that you were vaccinated and you are affirming that I've been vaccinated. No, homeboy has made it known even before there was a vaccine
I know.
that
It
he
was
was
too
not was
public.
going to be
That's the
vaccinated.
problem.
Listen to me. I want people to really stop with this bullshit and stop with this song and dance for the US Open. Because guess what? Nole last time I think Nole also didn't go to Canada.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
couldn't go to
Canada,
Canada.
Because he's not
And no one is
vaccinated.
no
and no
one
one is saying
protests in
shit about
Canada.
no one is dragging the Canadians. He can't go to Australia.
It's because it's not a major. That's
And
why.
it listen, but he needed a prep. And despite all of the shit that Nole has been going on whatever the case may be, Janina, you are absolutely right. The privilege, and when they're talking about he didn't do shit about these people because Nole only talks about number one. Every time Nole got in front of a crowd, even we got testimony where he stated the fact that he was unvaccinated after going to the whole fucking song and dance, being like, "That's my business. I don't gotta tell anyone, whatever." But then the public has a right for their own business, and the public say in order for you to be running around here when you of all people who have shown no regard for public health, public safety, or even anything regarding to regular normal science. We must let you run around because you want to hit a ball, because you want to win major number 23, 24. I mean, seriously, we have to take stock of this shit. Like, I'm sorry. I don't miss him. He don't need to be here because you know what? He said on numerous occasions, it's my choice and I am going to live with the consequences. But apparently, he never wants to live with the consequences, right?
Right.
He
And
wants
that
to be
is
wrong
where the
and
problem
strong.
is.
And
That's
then
the
every time
problem.
he
Did you?
sets his wife, who is really stupid, don't give a shit. I said what I said. She keeps out here being some kind of bully, pulpit, and like some guard dog for Nole. Nole is the one with the money. Nole is the one who is doing the thing, right? You don't need to come on and defend him. He's the one who wants to be the leader of the ATP and wants to be the ATPPL, whatever PTA nonsense. If he's all about that, stand in that shit. Use your bully pulpit to do this shit. But what you like to do is to throw rocks and then run and hide. You said you're
Well,
not getting vaccinated. The people said that they don't want unvaccinated people to come here.
come into the
Accept
United
that
States. And it doesn't matter if
into the
there are
United
a
States.
bunch of people who are unvaccinated within the country. They just happen to be in the country already. So that's just what happens.
And
I
they're
guess,
also citizens.
yeah,
And
but
guess
also
what?
even if they're non-citizens, it is whatever it has happened, they're here. So that's really the only thing. I think my biggest challenge though around this is that it's so interesting to watch reporters cover this issue because they give up the go or the game all the time. They were fancying a Nole, a Rafael match. That's the single thing that is in their mind is could we have put Novak up against
Yes.
Rafa so that
Nonsense.
Novak could equal Rafa or do whatever he needs. That's the driving narrative for them. And everything else goes out the door. I actually don't even think we need to even ask questions about whether we believe in the vaccine, whether it's an effective strategy. It's just that that's the border rules. That's it. I couldn't go to Serbia and tell them what their border rules should be. I mean,
Nope.
I saw what our favorite person Sam Query did around border rules in Russia, and I know that that was okay for some.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, it's actually, and I don't even have to defend the rule. I'm just saying that's the rule on the table. Does it make sense? It may not make a logical sense. Lots of border rules don't make a lot of sense, but it just happens to be that. The question for me is, how do you want to advocate against this border rule? Like, what legitimate resource are you going to use to make a case that the border rule doesn't make sense? I haven't seen that. If
Well,
that's what you want to do,
apparently,
that's what you should
it's
do.
white privilege.
Well, I mean, if that's the thing, I mean,
It's money privilege. It's
I mean,
status
obviously.
privilege. I'm what I can say though is I'm happy that for once it didn't work,
Well, I'm just
because
happy
it
that
usually
it didn't.
fucking works.
Yeah, I mean, for me though, I just wish that sports writers and commentators who try to be the, oh my gosh, they're trying to like, I saw John Wertheim's post around like conflicts in tennis and who gets to make the decision about whether they were going to fight for Novak Djokovic. Let's just be real clear. You're fighting for a matchup. That's what you are. That's what you are fighting for. You're fighting for a
Yeah,
fantasy matchup
you
that
don't
you
care about the
envision.
player.
Yeah, you don't care about the player. You don't care about any of the larger questions because you haven't been drilling down on these questions all along. You haven't been. So your big thing is, I wish we could see Rafael at US Open because there
Hmm.
is this chase for a slam count, and we'd love to have that chase continue. And guess what? The person who has robbed you of that narrative is Nole. Nole has robbed you of that narrative. Have a conversation with Nole about why he has actively chosen a path that allows him not to actually engage in the chase. Like, that's frankly
Yeah,
what happened. He can only chase in Europe. He can't chase in Australia, and he can't chase in the United States. That's on
right.
him. That's a question
Yeah,
you have to ask him. Like, why have you chosen not to participate in this chase with Rafa? Why are you letting Rafa take up all the goods
he's
with
getting all the glory
all the
because you
goods?
don't want to take a shot.
Because you are not taking a shot, and that's fine if you want to do that, but hold Nole accountable for that.
Let's
Accountable
be
for that.
honest about what it is.
But
Right.
the
Ask him these questions.
Like, I don't
and
care. I
also
mean,
let us to add to the simpler question is that how is it that we are allowing someone, how we saying you have made a decision, right? Which is counter narrative, because everyone is acting like if like the vaccine is shit, right? Meanwhile, we can actually have some semblance of some part of what life we have, and people are
with the
not dying in the
vaccine,
thousands
exactly.
and whatever with the vaccine,
I mean,
right?
we don't have
That all
refrigerators outside of hospitals anymore, so that's kind of a clear
exactly.
sign that things have
Correct.
gotten a little better.
We can actually have a funeral, right? We don't have to we're not doing mass graves and all of that stuff, right? How quickly we forget. We can actually
Hmm.
have people in the crowd, right? And these events are not turning into a spreader event to
Although
the
Rails
virus.
did wear his mask in the crowd in
The whole
DC,
time,
just
I
saying.
love it.
I love
Girl,
him for that. I love you for that. I couldn't fucking
no
do it.
COVID, no COVID yet. And knock on wood. But anyway,
Nova
added to that, it's
Reels
just like,
is
how is it that we are allowing
dodging
him?
COVID
How is,
bullets.
how is it that you can make a decision as a grown man? Nole is 35, 36. He accepted, he
The
said, this is what I'm
consequences.
going to
It's
do,
what he's unwilling to do.
and refused to accept any of the consequences of what he did.
And you all need
You
to
think
stop
other
carrying
players,
water for him.
you think other players didn't have hesitation about the vaccine?
Of course they did. Everyone
You think other players
did.
didn't?
I had hesitation about the vaccine. I work in
Everyone does.
healthcare. I
But we
mean, we
all
all
did what we
do.
did. We all did what
And
we had
and
to
you make
do.
you make a decision. I mean, you do it or you don't, and you suffer the consequences for that. And I just
All this
want Novak Djokovic to be open and honest about those consequences. Stop playing this poor me. I can't play because I'm not vaccinated. Okay,
nope,
fine. You know what? If I don't get vaccinated right now, I don't have a fucking job.
nope,
Fight
you
the
do
good
not.
fight, Nole. And even if that's what you're doing, and it's okay for you to do that, but I want the other people who are in his sport to hold him accountable.
Absolutely.
Ask him why he's stopping you all from enjoying your Rafael. Ask him why he's stopping y'all from enjoying the chase that you all so desperately need.
We're not really going to enjoy it. Maybe
Yeah,
that's the
And the
underlying
other
message.
player,
I don't
and I
really care.
want the other players to, when they asked this question, said, look,
Ask him that. I did it because
he
I needed
said
to.
he said he wasn't taking the vaccine, and these are the consequences for our actions. We don't get to live in a consequence-free environment. I don't get to fuck without a condom and then somebody get pregnant and be like, I don't want to deal with the baby. No, that's not how any of
And I
that will
think they're
work.
all confusing. Everybody's confusing and throwing a bunch of stuff. Tennis has always had conflicts of interest. John Wertheim. Let's not pretend it doesn't. This isn't what this is about. The fact that you wanted the USTA to advocate for Novak Djokovic is weird. And the fact that
Very weird.
and the
Very,
fact that
very
you
weird.
all suggesting that the reason why they're not advocating for Novak Djokovic is because of some weird conflict of interest, that seems odd to me because everybody would want that damn whatever you all think would happen for the chase. So it's just like, honestly, everyone has sucked it up. We all took the vaccine when we needed to. We all do all the protocols we need to do for every country. We don't go there and shame any country for whatever choices they've decided to make. Is it noble what Novak Djokovic is doing? Maybe. Does he? Part of the nobility of it is the consequences he gets to suffer from making that choice in this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
And maybe time will prove him right. And if that is the case, then he joins a marathon of people who have made those choices in the past and to their own. But let's be real clear though. He is not, never has been, never will be, not even close to Muhammad Ali in the way that you all are thinking and characterizing this. This is
No.
not a sacrifice for anyone but himself. Because the
Correct.
larger question that Muhammad Ali was raising was about people who were more vulnerable than he. That's the question he was raising. And those are the ways that he was punished. So this is not a public health. This is not even a public health frame for Novak. This is his own personal decision, and he's right to have them. And I say, bully for you. I actually really respect that. He's not chasing the slam because he's made this choice, and that's great. But you all basically be upset with him. Ask him the tough questions. Sit down and interview him. Ask him why he keeps making this choice. Is he afraid to be humiliated by Rafa on every surface? Is that what's going on? Not really.
And the church said,
I'm just saying.
and the church said,
Amen.
yes,
Listen,
mama.
You take
Look,
your
I
stand and
watched
let Rafa
all of the
collect
hardcore
those
tournaments
trophies.
this year for the men, basically. I
Yep.
watched Toronto, Montreal, wherever they were in Canada. Canada, y'all just need to stick to one place, okay? I mean, I know y'all want the men. This should be in the
I
same
get
place.
so
Sorry.
confused.
But anyway, and I watched Cincy, and I also watched, well, I was literally at DC, and I just gotta say, I didn't miss Nole. Did not.
I
Not.
mean, it's
The
okay.
players who were
But
collecting
he
the
has
checks didn't miss
fans.
him.
No,
They
his
didn't miss
fans
him.
do. His fans do.
It's an opportunity
Then
for people
watch
when he's not
YouTube.
there.
Watch
Take
YouTube.
advantage of
Y'all
it.
watching him anyway? Look at YouTube. He's on YouTube. Get a fan page. I'm so y'all make some clips, whatever the case may be. Look, everybody don't have to be everywhere, all the time.
I mean, listen,
They
I'll be
don't.
real clear though. This is a world of big threes, and Novak is a current big three. So there is a chunk of fans that are really missing him. That's a big deal. So for those fans, I feel
Then
sad.
tell
I
him
miss
go get the
Federer.
job.
No,
I
but
miss
Tell him go get
Federer
the
every
job.
time.
so
I'm
that's
not
what I'm
crying
saying.
about it.
But I'm also not getting in. I'm also not attacking the whole enterprise.
Establishment. Yeah.
I mean, listen, attack the establishment if you want. That's your bag, that's your thing. But this is essentially entirely of Nole's making, and I don't know how we are going to create excuses for him. It's okay for him to make this choice, and if he gets a 30 for 30 out of it, great. We can dig a deep dive.
No, you didn't. No,
Yeah,
you didn't.
listen. If there's one thing the cynical me says about this is the most distinguishing thing Nole has done in an era with
You are
people
correct.
who like headlines. If Nole had not taken this, it would simply be the Nole Rafa chase. But now that Nole has actively taken himself out of the conversation by seeming to double down on some sort of principle, this is completely fascinating for him, and it basically changes the entire narrative and actually gives him a lane. I say keep that lane. You weren't entering the other lanes anyway. This is a fantastic lane for me. This is Principal Nole lane. I love it. Do what you need to do.
I'm hoping this is a typo from Tony, but he said I did miss Nole at Cincy. I drove down there for you to say that.
I think Tony is still salty that Bona beat Nole and then won the whole thing. So if Nole was present, Bona would not have won that title. Just straight
Well,
facts.
Tony wasn't there for the final anyway, so he don't care. He left before that. Anyways, let's talk
Oh,
about
he
these
says
women.
yes. I always love when big names play. It draws crowd away from me. Fair
I
point.
mean, that's
Stop
very fair.
it.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to the women's side of the draw and continuing our everything Serena. We're going to be nice and tight because we're bringing this under in the next 20 minutes because that's how we roll.
Angie,
Nice
you're
and tight.
funny.
I know.
Okay, let's roll.
But look at how wonderfully we did the men's side. I love it.
Yeah, they were supposed to be first because
We
they were
made it work. We
boring.
made
We
it
spent a
work.
lot of time there.
I know. Take it away, Reels. Look at us. We got our number one, Iga Swiatek,
Oh.
doing it
God.
for us all.
So for the top quarter, I named this the ballet outfit section.
Oh
It's
my
just
God.
not working for me. Just not working for me. I want none of it. I want none of it. That outfit from 2020.
The tutu?
I think it is. The tutu, yes. Take it away. Take it away. I was just what you say. In West Indian dialect, tutu means shit.
Oh my God. Okay, so
Tutu means shit. I got it.
So I think we were all drawn by Serena's
It can mean that
iconic.
also.
I think we were drawn by all of Serena's iconic outfits. So, like you, I too did the women's draw based on iconic Serena's outfits. What does the outfit suggest about what the draw could be? That is my rationale.
Could be. Could be.
Okay. So
Could
under
be.
that, so, okay, if I'm gonna use with the outfit for this section, I'm gonna say it's over the top. It just don't fit right, and
Which outfit
it
is
make a lot
that?
of noise. But it's not giving what it's supposed to give. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny about the tutu outfit? Because you're like, I'm naming this the tutu outfit because it doesn't work for me. And I did think about the tutu outfit, but I didn't think about it that way. I never liked it. Look, it photographed well and made for some great pictures, but it was
No,
not
it did
play
not. It
friendly.
did not. On the paper,
Oh, it
it
did.
photographed well. No, it did not.
No, we
Stop
got
lying.
some
Nice
amazing photos
There was some
in
nice
the
photos.
tutu
I will
outfit.
say
We
that.
got
It
we
didn't
got
look
some
great
great
live
stuff.
on the body
No,
because she was
no.
uncomfortable, but it did
But in
photograph.
photos, it looked great, and I totally. It's it's interesting because we all think differently, right? So I thought about the tutu outfit as something that was supposed to be pretty. So would this be pretty? Not necessarily that it wasn't working. I thought
Clever.
about it as pretty, and yeah, that's really interesting. But go
I
on.
love that. So this section for you is tutu because Iga is in it. Swiatek is in it.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah.
mess.
And like we
The
just
Black
don't make
Swan.
no. I mean, yes, and the sad part is, they think they were thinking about, and you could, I know Nike hate women. I know Nike gotta hate women.
Oh my
Gotta hate
God.
women.
I mean, they hate women
Because
with
the pro-
bodies because they certainly don't know how to put anything on
I mean, they
anyone's
don't know
boobs
what to do with a
or
woman's
hips.
body. It's just like, like whoever was there before, definitely dealt with that. Because they thought that they're gonna bring a flesh color for the tutu outfit, and it's like the flesh color only needed to be there for the shoes, and she wasn't wearing the shoes. You can go with color and brilliance and sparkles and whatever for the actual outfit. Like, ballerina and the white swan isn't wearing white because she's a white woman dancing. It's because the swans are white. That's what it is. And it's just so, and the black swan is just like, it's because the swan is black, not the woman needs to be black who's trained. It's just like, it just doesn't work for me. So none of these girls work for me. I mean, with the exception of Salone, but she just doesn't work. So, I mean,
You said slow doesn't work. Oh Jesus Christ!
I
Earlier when
mean,
I asked the group, is Sloan injured these days? And Pablo said, I think she's just showing up for contractual commitments. I said, oh damn, okay, she's out.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want greatness for Salone, but I don't necessarily want greatness for herself. I mean, she got a
I
great
don't know if
husband.
she
I mean,
wants
like,
it. She's
Well,
had a fabulous life.
So this little quarter is that the same thing for yours, Janina? Your little quarter here. What do you have there for
No, it's not. For me, it's not the tutu.
What do
I
you
said
have?
this is the one with the black heart.
Oh, this is your black heart outfit.
This is my
Okay.
black heart. I've
Oh.
got Petra Kvitova.
Oh, Petra.
Well,
Muga,
Petra don't do well in New York heat, just so you know.
no, but I feel like she might have a bit of a black heart. Um,
Mm.
Muguruza, I feel like she has a black heart. I
Oh,
don't
you're
even know
doing
why.
quotes. Oh, you're doing quotes. Oh, love
I
it.
did in Ostapenko.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like this little chunk of the draw is just filled with evil bitches.
I love it. So I did outfits as well for the little section. And I was inspired by Serena's 2015 neon outfit, bright and poppy, that she wore at the Australian Open. It's like a neon with the back
Oh,
out
yellow and
Oh
and
pink
yeah,
and
I
and
liked
like
that
bubble
kit.
gum.
I
Yeah.
and the
liked it.
pink shirt. It felt very,
Oh,
and
make that
that
make
pink
sense.
short.
I don't see it.
Let me explain why.
Yes, please.
Well, first of all, I want more for these ladies. This is more what I wished for. I want them to pop more than they do. There's Amanda here, there's Ostapenka here, there's Swiatek here, and I was looking at the Iga versus Amanda round 14, and I was like, can you all pop? Can you all bring some life to the party? I'm not seeing it.
No, it'll
I'm
be
not.
boring.
It'll be boring. So that was like the opposite of what Serena would normally bring to the table. And then the little Muguruza Petra section. Do you
Hmm.
remember the 2015 sheer white Wimbledon outfit that Serena did? It was
Yes,
that one.
it was
I'm
controversial.
It was very controversial, I'm sure, because it was see-through. But I
Hmm.
feel like Petra really is a see-through girl, even though she doesn't show it because the way she shows up.
She ain't see through. She is black to the core.
Black in the core, her whole
I
thing.
mean,
And
meanwhile,
nightgown, 90s. I feel like I had a 90 vibe. So when I saw Muguruza and Petra as a possible round 3, I was thinking sheer Wimbledon white dress. I don't know
But
why.
I
I
want to
felt
know who you have coming
90s.
out of there.
I
Who
have
wins?
I have Petra because she seems to be in good form.
Me
But
too.
I know, but you know what? I'm feeling the which is really bad. I want this matchup between Petra and Pagula to give me 2018 full body catsuit vibe, but I have
Oh
a feeling
shit.
that only made it to the third round of the French Open, though.
exactly. It was all talk and no action in the end. That's my
I
vibe
mean,
here. But you know how how Petra gives you old lady vibes? Sometimes that Wimbledon sheer
love.
dress kind of gave me old lady vibes. Old,
Really?
no,
That
old
is
like
that is love.
that.
Mhm,
That
go.
what is that Mr. What's the one where the lady is trying to come on to the young man
A cougar?
yes, it gave me cougarish vibes. If
Oh
Mm,
my
worn out,
that is
if
no
god.
worn,
cougar. That is
I
a
know,
whole minx.
I know,
Love.
I know, I know.
Women,
That's
if
That
your
whole
husband is
mix.
married, do not leave. Don't leave your drink unattended. Don't leave your man
Oh my
unattended. Leave your man at
god.
home. Petra is taking them. And what I love
Oh,
about
she
Petra is that Petra's
might.
gonna look you in the face and try to pretend that she don't steal people's husbands.
I know.
Hence the
Petra's
And then
black
very.
she's go
heart.
I
and then
know.
she's gonna show up in a whole photo op.
I
Oh
know.
my god, some great news, guys. I got somebody else's man. You know what I mean? Like
What I
he
like is
clearly
that her
proposes.
reputation is
He clearly
innocence and light.
proposes.
I love that she's
Look,
innocent and light, and everybody thinks she's the best thing since sliced bread. And meanwhile, this woman's like a home wrecker. Make it make sense.
Petra does it tried and true. Okay? Petra sees a man and says, you know what? He's gonna put a
It's
ring on
great
it and he's gonna give me a wedding bell. Even though
because
he
Shit.
does it already, you know what I mean?
because he
Like he's
does
with
it for others. She may get lucky, but then actually
God,
she
I see
doesn't
what
want
you've
it
done for others. Won't you do it for me? Okay, that's
Oh
anyway.
Petra's
my
brother.
god. Who you got coming through this quarter?
I
Um,
have Sloane and Anisimova because something
You're
about
nice.
funny.
Schwantek
I love
and
that. Actually,
something
Sloan would
about
have looked
Schwantek,
great in that.
yeah.
Sloan would have looked great in that 2015 neon kit.
Can I
That's a
just say
great color.
She might
can
have
I
looked
just say
good in the fucking
WTA?
tutu.
The two. Actually,
Um
I don't know.
yeah, but different
Listen,
colors.
Sloan is, you know what? Sloan is just beautiful.
And she loves
Can
a
we
high
just put
waist
that
though.
out there?
Sloane loves a high waist.
That woman
Something.
is gorgeous.
All outfits, no form.
But let
I
me just
love it.
say,
Mm,
no, I'm
oh
saying you're
shit.
a mess.
Okay,
Let me just
okay.
say,
No
the WTA, you're
saying
I'm
number
not
that.
sure
one.
how to take this. Are
No
we getting
saying.
dragged right
I mean,
now?
we might be getting dragged. That's
I
okay.
feel like we are.
That's
But
okay.
you're
But
here, so enjoy.
I don't mind getting dragged because a draw. You know what? A draw analysis means nothing in the end because at the end of the day, the ladies
Not
show
a
The
up
damn
players
thing.
play.
and they do whatever what they want to do. We have a
And
wish.
so many things can happen, right? Rain
I
can come
know.
and wash it all away.
Or some.
But
I
I
mean,
just want to
somebody
say,
Sloan might show up to her old form, and suddenly
I
our
would love
idea.
it.
You'd
I
love
would
to see
fucking
Sloan.
love it.
I mean, I
but
think you're going to be able to tell by the second round what kind of form she's in,
Yeah.
can we
We'll
just talk about
know.
the fact that
or
the
the
last
first.
two WTA number ones
Mm-hmm.
are talking about balls?
What? Wait,
Which
what?
tennis balls.
Oh, the
Balls, yeah.
balls, the actual balls that they're playing with. Okay.
And fluff and
I
ball. And any kind of
My
balls that
mind
we would love them
totally
to be
went
talking
somewhere
about.
else.
Oh, are you meaning you mean the one that retired and Iga?
Yes, Iga
Yeah,
Swiatek and Ash Body.
yeah. I mean
Y'all have
that
nothing
was a big.
interesting
Yeah.
to bring to the table, and
But I
y'all are
mean
talking
that's
about
no.
balls.
But you know what? That's the part of the thing that they felt out of control. Like I mean, in on one hand, I totally understand the idea of the predictability, right? I totally understand the predictability of having the same balls, right? Like you get used to it. But to me,
Yeah.
it's like it's also a sponsorship get. So if you want to get
Isn't this
paid
part of
money,
tennis?
but also it's like listen, on the real, somebody pays for those balls, right? To be in your hands. And that means that's why you get the big checks
And
at
it
the
ain't
end of
coming
the
out of your
day.
pocket.
Exactly.
Right.
So on one hand, I totally get tennis players being upset with the ball, but on the other hand, I also get the fact that everyone's playing with the same balls, and sometimes
Right.
one type of ball is going to advantage you, and another type of ball is going to advantage somebody else. So you
Hmm.
just kind of suck it up and deal with the ball that works for
Make
you
the
during one
adjustment.
part
Make the
of the
adjustment.
season, and then
Suck it
another
up,
time it
Buttercup.
doesn't, because we don't want the exact same condition everywhere. That's not what makes this interesting. Otherwise, why would you move?
And they don't
Why
talk
would
about
you
the
move around?
courts.
Well, they can't
That
control
Yeah,
the
talk
court.
about
but
well, they
but
can't talk about the
but that's
courts
my
because they're all
thing
the
though.
fucking same, regardless of what they
You
say.
could find the minute fluffness in these tiny balls, but you're standing on a whole court and you got nothing to say, nothing nuance,
But I mean, I
no
thought it
Amen.
was
critique.
no, but I thought it was interesting though that different people had various things that so, to be in your hand. I know it sounds horrible, but I mean, like, but you could talk about
We might need to make that shirt.
horrible, horrible shirt, horrible. Oops. But I mean, the reality is everybody recognizes that some surfaces plays towards your game. Also, some of the balls, right? Because I remember a couple of years ago, people were complaining about the balls at RG. So
Hmm.
I mean, while it's like a valid and useful thing to point out, I don't know if it needs to be a not. I don't know if it needs to be a starter in the sense that this is like something that we need to take seriously. I think it's helpful. I think it's helpful. It's a helpful note because nobody ever talks about, well, oh, the balls here are really fluffing in a particular way that makes it hard for me to control, and therefore this is why I'm hitting the ball this way. Blah 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 blah. Like that's not the type of analysis that we normally get in a tennis match, and it's helpful to know that. And so that's the only thing I find really valuable about them raising the point about the balls is that what does it mean for a certain type of player and the certain racket that you play with. I like that kind of analysis, but I don't necessarily know if I need it to make a distinction around whether the ball should be discontinued or we need different balls or anything like that. I don't that seems kind of a weird thing for us to a leap to make, right? I don't know if that's something we need to make a decision about, but I appreciate her saying it. I appreciate her talking about it. Usually she's just talking about books she's reading. So I appreciate that knowledge. You can complain about the court too,
Yeah,
but complaining about the ball is helpful. I mean, Lindsay
yeah. I'm just
Davenport
thinking.
had a whole had a whole thing about it. She's like, "Well, actually, I kind of like the US Open balls, and this is why I like them," and blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Okay, interesting," because I'm
And
not
plus
out
the
there hitting them.
humidity, the conditions there are always heavy, so you can't have a heavy ball going through,
Well, I
especially
think
now
they
because
also
most of those
the
courts are very the wind is no longer a factor in most of those courts, particularly Ash, which used to be like a whole tornado
yeah
downstairs,
yeah yeah
basically.
yeah.
And it's very muggy, it's particularly Armstrong. It's not like those things you have to consider. Plus, climate change is real, people.
What does that have to do with the
Tennis
ball?
might soon have to be an indoor sport.
Likely. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what does the weather
Ew,
look like?
gross.
What does the weather look like for the U.S. Open? You know how we don't. New York doesn't handle rain very well, so hopefully
I
there
think
aren't
it's gonna.
more
Yes, it
rain.
doesn't, but it's gonna rain. I think. Let me go and check. I think Tuesday's gonna rain Tuesday night, like in the early mornings Tuesday
Oh,
night.
okay.
So you don't have to worry about that. I have a 5-day weather forecast. Actually, hello. There is no rain so far.
Nice.
I mean, there will be thunderstorm. That's before 2 p.m. 2 a.m. Sorry, Tuesday.
We'll
Is
see, huh?
Janina
Tuesday.
is Janina playing crickets or are you outside, Janina?
Oh, I'm
Oh no, Junior is
outside. Let
outside.
me. Oh, yeah, yeah,
No, it was over. It was perfect. We're talking about
So
rain, and Janina's like crickets. What is going
yeah.
on? But go ahead. Let's continue with the draw. Let's keep going. So then,
But
what
as
is
it
the
gets later, there's going to be like huge disparity. The temperature is gonna drop. So the
cold?
first
It's gonna
couple of
get
days
cold.
Oh,
it's
we're
gonna
gonna
be like
have cool
87.
nights.
You're gonna have it's gonna be like 89 on Tuesday, 88
Def-
on Wednesday.
that's
Thursday is
not cool.
85, the low is 65. No, I mean
Wow.
the disparity between the high and the low is gonna be really remarkable.
Between the first week and the second.
No, in the day and the night session.
Oh
So in
well,
the
yeah,
day
that
it's
makes
gonna
sense.
be like so on Monday night it's gonna be 80. Sorry, Monday it's gonna be 74 as opposed to being high at 87, but the next night 74 and then 69. So it's gonna go down
It's
in the
gonna be
60s at
muggy,
night.
but it's still gonna be muggy
Yeah.
though, because usually it's cool but still kind of muggy and like heavy.
Yeah.
The conditions at night sometimes feels very heavy.
That's why Rafa does well at night.
But
Well, it's
anyway,
also
we're supposed to be
helping.
on a tight clip. So my second quarter in the top half is all these ladies. I'm gonna need them to have an
Which no, I'm
education.
saying, no, I'm saying I appreciate that. I like when a tennis player says, "I like a certain type. I like to do a certain type of thing with the ball," because that's what's helpful. I want to hear how you can take something to your advantage. I think the reason why um, Schwantek is complaining is because she doesn't understand what to do with it. But it's also really helpful for us because it also stops her from her tier that she went on the RG, and it gives other people chances. So it's like for me, I feel like each season benefits certain players, and then it's your job to like take advantage of it. So yes, you hate the US Open ball, great. That's a disadvantage for you. Good. That means that somebody else is going to step in and do something wonderful. I'm happy to see that happen. Make it happen. Make it so. Let's go. So I don't know that's
Fair
how I
enough.
see it. That's how I see it because that's what I like about the different seasons. Indoors is the same reason, right? Some people play beautiful tennis indoors, others don't. Um, except when they're my favorites. But anyway, going to the bottom half of the top. What do you have going on there, Reels? What's happening for
I
you?
call it these ladies need an education.
Oh shit! I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew it, and I'm
Yeah.
happy that it's here. Go on.
Because you know what? I mean, with the exception of the Queen Venus, there's a lot of ladies here who have potentials, who been had potential, as they would say, and they could have brought something to the table, but they didn't bring anything. You know what I mean? I'm looking at you, Badosa. I hate that people calling you the new Maria. Girl, that is not cute. Not cute.
Why?
I'm
Why?
well.
Maria was never really an interesting personality. People projected a lot of things onto her, and she
No,
was
they
quite
like
the opposite of
for
that
the look.
person.
I mean, that
But I
doesn't matter.
mean,
Projection is helpful, right? You don't know any of
but
these
I
people.
mean, even the look, I think no. As a ranker, oh, that three bed Pliskova benches, even Raducanu. I mean, like, I don't find her necessarily
Is
that
Raducanu in this
interesting
section?
yet.
Oh yeah, she is.
Yes,
Oh, that's
I
because I think
mean
Corday is going to make a meal out of her
Sabalenka.
in
I
the
mean,
first
like,
round,
they're
but you
just
never know.
girls that I think they need to zhuzh it up. You know what I mean?
For you, I
For
like them
me.
fine.
And for me, I'll take it.
Mm. I need them to zhuzh it up. But I'm in my I see, or I would hope Azarenka could get her US Open shit together,
Yeah.
and she deserves to win the US Open at least once. Not that
Oh, she's
anything is
not gonna win
deserved in tennis,
here. She's not gonna
but you
win
know
here.
what?
She's gonna get
Girl, if you
maybe a
can get
week
it,
two,
get it.
maybe, but she's not gonna
I
win.
see her in the fourth round with Bencic. I mean, because
Yeah, and who do you
anybody
got
but
coming out of
Pliskova.
there? I have
I
that
mean,
too.
Yes.
I think the trickiest thing for me about this little mini section from a political standpoint, and I haven't been tracking too much of that, is the potential matchup between Vika and Maria from the Ukraine, Marta from the Ukraine, right? They didn't have Vika participate in the Tennis Players for Peace.
Like, why would
There's been
she?
a little bad. There's been a little. I don't think it's been bad love between them, but I feel like there's been a lot of kind of back and forth around that. So I don't know. That could be a potentially spicy kind of matchup in that way. But I feel like Vika has been sort of hit or miss in terms of her form. I was
Yeah.
Yes.
expecting. You remember we were expecting a retirement announcement, and she was just announcing that she was doing her podcast. So
Is there an episode out? Has anyone listened to it?
no,
I
not yet.
mean,
I still have
not
to
me.
listen to the Megan episode. But for me, the outfit of the moment here is the 2004 USL mini skirt, boots, pleats, jeans look,
Oh,
and that
you put the
biker
denim
gear.
outfit here?
I
Here?
do because it's
Oh
Badosa
my
and Vika.
god.
It's the
No.
Badosa and Vika matchup for me is what does that. I thought that back in the day that would have been a fun battle. Remember? Because they had a wonderful match in Indian Wells. But that has not been the Vika or the Badosa that we've been seeing at
You know
all.
what, Andreen? I wanted to label a section for the denim outfit, and I didn't find anything worthy.
These two, Badosa and Vika.
Mm-mm.
Remember the Vika we knew and
It
loved?
has to be
Now
more
she's
than those
Now
two.
she's, I mean, the only one from this section. Otherwise, we're basically doing asymmetrical catsuit between Osaka and Sabalenka because
You know what I labeled this part of the draw?
what?
There was a quote. I'm not sure where it came from. I just know it's a Serena quote. Because
Hmm.
I feel like there's a bunch of emotional bitches in this spot.
Do you think? I mean, a
Yeah,
little
I
bit up and
do.
down, up and down.
I do. We've got Taylor Townsend. We've got Osaka. We've got Emma Raducanu. I am not a robot. I have a heart and I bleed.
Well, this is definitely a bleeding
That's
woman section.
yeah. That's what I labeled this section because I mean I don't care about it so much to be honest. I
Isn't
don't
your winner
think
coming out of this section?
is my winner.
Is the winner
Yeah,
coming out of this section?
I don't. You know what? I don't think
Yes,
so.
no, I'm saying. Mhm.
I don't think the winner is coming out of this section. But I
Interesting.
there are some interesting first round matchups, honestly. Like, let's
Osaka
be
versus
real.
Collins.
That could be a shit show.
Yeah,
I don't know where Osaka's head is these days.
no
And
one knows.
Collins being the US girl, she may, I don't know how her body is though. So I picked Osaka to come out of that, but
So
it's
did I.
possible that she doesn't. Raducanu, I have her going out in the first round. I really do. Cornet is a dragon slayer. We fucking know that. She loves to get up for the big matches, the big names.
Yeah,
She
she'll love
might
that
make
chant.
Raducanu look like, little girl, go home to bed. That might happen. And
What about? I know that's the thing about. What about Raducanu's risk? I thought I saw that Raducanu
well,
was crying.
I can I tell you, I didn't pick Raducanu. I
No,
picked
neither did
Cornet.
I. I picked Cornet as well, but you never know. I mean, listen, who picked Raducanu last year? So I mean, maybe she
True
find
story,
maybe
but we've
she.
seen her. We've seen
Yep,
her more.
yep.
We know what she's capable of. I think she's going to have a shit ton of pressure on her, and I think she crumbles. That's just, if she doesn't, good for her. But that's where my head is at. I mean, we've got Venus in this little piece of the draw.
You think
I
Venus gets by
think
Rabakina?
I think
Rabakina?
well, I no, I don't. I think she gets to the second round, and that's it. that's my guess.
I mean,
Oh, Tony says Collins hasn't won a match in ages,
exactly.
which I knew she was having all those back issues, but all the more reason for her to come alive here. Really,
Well,
that's how I saw it.
the thing I thought was interesting though is Sabalenka versus Kanepi, because problematic server and big server. I
You
don't know.
never know,
I
right? You
just don't
never know.
know.
I
Sabalenka
picked
survives
Sabalenka.
matches. Like I
She
don't know.
does, but it's Kanepi, and she's crazy, and she just does stuff we don't
Sometimes,
expect.
sometimes she
I
can
picked
derail.
Sabalenka, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna be surprised if I'm wrong. I mean, my draw's always shit, so.
Well, I'm looking forward to the possibility of an Osaka versus Sabalenka fourth round, which is a match I sat through when Osaka went on her run, and it
So
was
who do you pick?
so. I I'm hoping Sabalenka's learned her lesson and comes through this one because you know why?
Wow.
You know why? Because she's persevered more. She I feel like she's getting through her struggle matches better than Osaka is getting through her struggle matches. But I feel like if Osaka makes it to the fourth round, beating Cornet, Townsend,
Correct.
maybe she's in a better maybe not
And
Townsend.
that was
Yeah,
my
maybe she's in a better
mindset
shape.
when I got to that matchup. I was like, who do I pick?
Yep.
And I honestly I thought that exact same thing. If Osaka actually does make it to the first round, she should beat Sabalenka.
Yeah, she should. She should theoretically beat her. But I don't know. I
She's
don't
gonna
know if
have to
it's
get
gonna be
past
a
Kai
battle.
Kanepi though.
That's what I
Well,
figured.
Mm.
I
that's
don't know.
true.
That's the
And
question.
our gnome is telling us that Cornet is 13 years older than Raducanu. You know what? Cornet is a fucking dragon slayer. I mean,
She'll just
I
get
don't
up
give
for
a
that
fuck.
one
She'll
match.
just do it.
She'll
Yeah,
just
she
get up
won't.
for that one
Just
match.
that one match. That's it. That's it. All right.
And
What
then
about the next half of the draw?
I
And
like the
I
next half
just
of the
want people
draw.
to understand that the US Open was the only tournament that Raducanu has ever finished. Like ever.
Yeah,
Like
she
on
Stop
usually
it.
tour.
withdraws
Usually with draw or loses.
or loses.
So I
Well, isn't
mean,
that the case with most players? Don't do that. They
No, no.
all withdraw or lose. Only one person
no, I mean
wins.
in terms of like she hasn't. I mean, if she didn't win the U.S. Open last year, she would not have been necessarily a player of note, and she hasn't been a player of note since the U.S. Open.
You know what's funny?
If she
I
doesn't
for
win, if she doesn't repeat as champion, her ranking is gonna tumble.
Oh, it's gonna plummet. When I was making out my draw, I forgot that I had her going out in the first round, and I was like, "Wait, where's Raducanu?" I even put that. I even put that to the group, and I was like, "Oh shit, wait, yeah, I said she's gonna lose round one to Corday." Yeah,
Well,
I don't. I think the pressure is gonna be too much for her. I do. You know what? If she proves me wrong, so be it.
then that's
I
what
don't
you
care.
want.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like what we have here in this section of the draw for me is the nemesis. Is Coco has to get by Halep. That is
Oh,
if
you
Coco
have
can get.
Coco getting past Keys, then
Yeah, I do. I think she has
I
a more.
don't
I think she has a surer game. Although Keys has been playing better, but I would
really
pick.
well.
She's been playing well, but I would pick Coco in a blind test between Keys and Coco any day
Why?
of
Yep,
the week.
any
Coco has
test,
I
more
any
mean,
test,
variety.
bro, any test.
She has more brain.
Listen to me, Janina
She's got a better
Keys is not
skill
even
set.
kid. Madison's
I don't
not
know.
even picking Madison. She's just not.
I mean, maybe not, but I
I
just think
feel
that
like as of late she's been playing well,
she's been much better. She's like
and that's
reading
where my
the court
decision
better.
went. I
Yes,
mean, I'm
I mean,
hoping for Coco. I'm
we'll see
happy
if
to be
Keys
wrong
gets
there.
by Georgie.
True story.
No,
True
no, 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 no,
story.
no, no. I think she does. But
I have that match starred. You never
I
know.
mean,
Georgie is also a
this
dragon
section
slayer.
for me. This section is beads. You know, you can trip over and
bees,
slip and spill
Yes,
and a lot of
I love
things.
reels.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
bees.
And you know who I want to be wearing the beads? Coco.
No, this section for
Andrescu is in
me
this side of the. She's in
is
this
Puma.
quarter. I mean, there's a lot of.
This
Caroline
is Puma
Garcia is playing
2000.
excellent tennis.
This is Puma 2000
Caroline.
or 2001 era. I like the look.
hmm Caroline Garcia is not to be fucked with at the moment.
Well,
Yeah,
listen, I'm happy to see her
especially
beat Bianca. Let's see what
and
happens
Iga
there.
Swiatek
But when
and
was
Iga
the last
Swiatek
time
would tell
Bianca
you
played
that.
tennis? Has she
Listen,
been around?
listen, let's be honest about Bianca. Bianca is like Cornet. It don't matter what she's been doing.
I
It
guess
is the
so.
US Open. Okay? It is a
I don't
big
know. Is
stage
she fit?
and
Because she's always on the little bit fat side when it comes
well,
to an athlete. I
she
mean, I would love to just be her type of fat, but you know.
well, she was crying. She was crying in Canada. So I think she had some issues there.
Oh God.
So I think that's a tricky one. But I personally for me I was looking towards round 4 and
Okay.
Halep versus Coco and knowing that Halep is the one that stops Coco cold. She stopped her at Wimbledon when she was on that nice run. She stopped her at Stanford recently when she was doing so well. Coco needs to figure out how to beat Halep.
I love that you have Coco there because I have Keys.
In
I
which
don't
case,
know why you have Madison Keys there because
I
Madison
mean,
I don't
Keys
know.
doesn't have a
That's
stuff
my
there.
gut. That's my
that's her
feeling.
feeling.
And you know
I'm
what?
taking
I
it.
have Keys over Halep. I feel like Keys hits her off the court, even though she
Nah,
gets everything back. That's just where I'm going. Don't judge me. Damn it.
I'm judging you for not
I know
realizing
you
that
are.
that one extra ball is enough to get these
I
off the
know. I
rack.
know.
And that Keys
Sometimes I
has
fill
to
out
get
my
past
draw with my
Gavin
heart.
Straight. I
I know
mean,
it's okay.
Keys has to get past the other black girl, Dania, yes, Menska, Tremska, whatever her name is. Isn't that the
We have
girl
a
with the black
Ukrainian
face?
black girl? What?
No, she does the black and white
Black
picture.
face.
Remember her? The black.
Oh, God. Lord have mercy. Yes, I remember.
I mean, I think Keys
So,
blows her off the court. No, I mean,
Okay, hold
Serena?
up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's have a moment for Christine McHale.
oh, this
No,
is
you have
usually.
that
Tony,
moment, girl. I'm
Tony,
not
you're an
with you.
asshole.
I have to say
I
though, this is
the
where Keys would normally. This is where Christina McHale would normally show up in a match. This
true
section.
story, but I want to say fuck you to all the people who tweeted to me that she's retiring.
They know you
Fuck
love her.
specifically Chad. He was here with us earlier. He seems to have gone,
He's got
but
other
he'll listen back. And Chad, fuck you. Yeah. I mean, y'all, cut it out.
So
Cut it out.
for this round 4, I'm gonna be going fast. I got Halep versus Goff. I got Garcia versus Sakari. I have Ons versus Kasakina, and I have Samsonova
Mm.
versus Mukova. Yes,
Ooh.
I think Mukova takes out Serena, even though Serena beat her very comfortably in 2019. But
Okay,
you
So,
never
I
know.
have you here,
wow.
Andreen.
Yep.
Andreen, I don't know if this is a good sign. This might be problematic, and this might be one for the record books. I have you all the way, except I have Serena versus Samsonova.
Cool. Serena getting to the 4th round. I like your
Oh,
Yep.
thinking.
wow.
I mean, because I'm just saying an opponent might be stoned at Arthur Ashe by the crowd. Like the crowd will just
Well,
not let
listen.
it.
So
Well, that's
this is
gonna happen
very
to Kontaveit.
interesting.
Kontaveit
We
hasn't won
have
a match in a
Well,
while.
Kontaveit is going to throw herself over anyway. So I mean,
no. I think Kontaveit's going to get it together.
You think? No.
Yeah, I do.
No,
I
I
she
mean,
do.
doesn't have the
look, there
mental
have been many
capacity for that.
dubious number twos in the world. Okay, there have been many
Well,
dubious number
Kontaveit
twos in the
apparently
world.
is suffering from long COVID.
Oh, I didn't
Is
know
that what
that.
it is?
Okay, can
That's
I
her
change my
thing.
draw?
Okay.
No, no,
I
Oh,
no,
did
no.
not know that. All right,
wait,
I'm
wait, wait,
changing
wait,
my
wait,
draw.
wait, wait.
You know what? And I
Wait.
feel
Wait.
a
She's been
lot
having
better about it.
no. She's just been having problems ever since she had COVID.
Okay,
So
because
people,
Listen,
I got a
long
question.
COVID
Like,
is no fucking joke.
I think that's what's going
but
on with Grigor, to be honest.
but
But I
I
won't
have
make
a
any.
question though. I mean, is it true, Andreen? Are you joking? Or are you just
No, 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 no. People, I was watching, reading a reporter or listening to a them covering. They were covering the status of W2 number twos on the WTA, and the
Mhm.
commentators on Tennis Channel said that she seems to be struggling from long COVID.
So what was the
Why
problem
the fuck
before
didn't
COVID
y'all
was a
tell me this
thing
before
though?
I filled out my draw?
Her problem
Girl,
with
because the
Kontaveit
Kontaveit
was
was
that she
behaving
would
like
mentally
Kontaveit.
go. Sometimes she mentally goes away in a match. Sometimes she'll have really great stretches where she's hitting a
Well,
clean ball, and then suddenly it becomes error strewn. And usually it's like a mental thing. It doesn't look like
but you
anything
know
with her
what?
game.
COVID brain fog is real.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
I don't know if it dissipates in the U.S. Open. That's all I'm saying. So
Well, I didn't know that,
why
and
you have her going out? You have Serena going out to her in the second round.
I do,
You
but
being
I did
bold.
not realize that she was
She's vulnerable.
struggling in that way. So I actually feel more excited for my own personal U.S. Open experience.
Are you good? Well, I mean, it's interesting because then you have also Trevisan, and I thought that Trevisan was. Did she not make? Did she not make? Didn't she make the Roland Garros semis? I thought that's who Coco had to play.
Did she?
Yes.
So, okay, another full disclosure moment.
Uh huh.
I'm filling out this lady's job. I don't know who half these bitches are. And I
You
know that
haven't
I've
been
been
watching enough.
Listen, I have
Do you ever
not.
know who they are anyway?
No, I do, but like I have been so disconnected from tennis since COVID, and I have been gradually easing myself back in, and I've enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
haven't
Coco
enjoyed
beat
tennis in a
her.
while,
Yeah,
and
she was in the semis. Coco beat
there's
her
so
six
many
three six
people. I'm
one.
like, I totally went with ranking because I didn't know who people were.
You know what?
I mean,
That's fair enough.
yeah,
That's
but
not a
I
bad
feel
way to
better
go.
about Serena's chances, honestly.
Listen,
You know who I'm hoping makes a run here? Layla.
where's
I
Layla?
want
Where
to.
do I have her going?
Not happening.
She.
Oh, I have
I.
Samsonova taking her out, but maybe.
I just want her to regain her U.S. Open glory
Mm.
and do something with it
I mean,
because
can I
she
tell you
hasn't done shit.
my bitterness because I was at the damn final and I like them both well enough. I just want her to get farther than Emma. Is that okay? Which
That's
means
fine.
she gets through the second round. That's about it.
Well, listen, on a wish and a prayer, I've got Fernandez in round 4.
What?
I said a wish and a prayer. What more do you want
I
from me?
mean, that seemed like you
Actually,
made a sacrifice.
this is a
It's
tricky
doable.
section. This is a tricky section because Barbara has been missing in action.
MIA, yeah.
And
Oh,
same
Barbara
thing
just
with,
went back to her regular self. That's
yeah,
what you
maybe
mean.
that's true. And Conquer as well.
Real, you're such a.
So, like, actually, Serena has a very soft section. Let's just say that she has a soft section.
Yeah.
For her to do, she can get to the weekend. Which I can't. Let me tell you something. The way the U.S. Open would be happy if they can get Serena to go to the first weekend.
It would be ginormous.
It'd be fantastic.
But I mean, it would be, you know.
It also mean that I might get to see her match because I only have tickets for the Labor Day. So if you could get to this Labor Day, good on all of us. But yeah, I mean, there are some chances here.
Why am I in here twice?
Janina, for the longest while, I kept hearing this thing and I kept thinking, who is singing in the background? But I have like music playing on and whatever.
Janina's outside and they're crickets.
It was driving me insane, and I'm just like, what is happening in my apartment? And then I was just like,
I don't remember when it was. I don't remember at all. But we were having a live cast, and I was sitting outside. I honestly don't hear the crickets. Like, it's such a part of my everyday life.
Let me tell you, we hear it. Damn it!
I don't hear it.
Yeah,
and Maya
if I were in the
was
Caribbean,
like, "What's up with Jimmy and cricket?"
Because when I would call home, I would definitely hear the cricket in the background. So I was just like, "What is happening here?" Like, I thought my music was on. I was just like
I totally don't hear it anymore. It's not even something that I register. So I was trying to be cognizant of that tonight and mute when I wasn't talking.
It's coming through loud. I don't know. It's one of those crazy thing about sound and, traveling. So, ladies, we have our draws all done up for the second week.
I love it. Where are we going? So everyone has the same, right? So who Janina, tell us who you had for round 14.
Round 4. I've
16.
got Halep 16. I've got Halep and Keys, Garcia and Sakari, Ons and Castakina, Fernandez and Contavit. Well, but
Castakina just won a match. She just won a tournament, right? A tournament that just finished.
Girl, I don't
right
know.
Before the U.S. Open.
I don't know. But I'm rethinking my Contavit. So, I'll put Serena there as a standby.
Tentatively. That would be great. That'd be fantastic. We have a draw. We have a draw. We have said things. We are wishing. We are hoping. But of course, all of this is fantasies because the match play will start and somebody will withdraw. Someone will play the match of their life.
Someone will get injured.
Someone will say, "Damn it, I'm tired of being taken for granted." And all of our draws.
And it's a WTA. And very rarely do the person who wins is the person we expected.
Well, I'm hoping for that a little bit on the ATP side myself. I don't think the draw on the ATP side is shuffled enough for that to happen.
Sinner.
So I would love. Listen,
girl, I ain't trying.
Listen. I have a Sinner Medi final. So tell me why I'm messed up.
I didn't go all the way to the final. I didn't fill my draw that far. But I have a major Sinner crush.
Do you? You like the ginger? You
like that ginger is his style.
He's
Oh,
got
she
jacked
likes.
up
That Jimbo
teeth, so
is a baby parrot.
I can't even fathom it because his teeth ain't right.
You love the
I'm
tennis.
sure you
You
got
love the
milk teeth
tennis.
still.
She loves the
I
tennis. He's
do
a
like
good
his
player.
tennis. I do like his
He's fun
tennis.
to watch.
No, he's not. He has a total brain fart for no freaking
Real.
reason.
He
He
is
does.
fun until he has the
He gave
brain
away a
fart.
whole tournament.
Listen, I
Who
will
did he
tell
play?
you,
I
I
think it was
enjoyed.
Chorich.
I watched him live versus Nole. It was a train wreck, of course, but it was fun when he was on. I was like, okay,
Yes,
I
okay,
jumped
young
on
man.
that Sinner bandwagon early.
I did
I'm
it
just
from
putting it out there
CitiOpen
now.
last year when he
I
won
jumped
2
on it
years
fucking
ago.
early, and I am here for the goddamn ride because I need somebody young and fresh. I cannot put
I
all
mean,
my
but
fucking
he
hopes
he
on a
don't.
Federer, on a
Oh, honey,
Serena, on a Venus. I gotta
Of
find
course,
some
we get
fresh
that.
blood.
we're done. So we're looking forward to the quarterfinals between Sinner and Alcaraz, right? That's the quarterfinal I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to on the men's side. Rublev and Rafa.
I
Rafa could
want
give
it.
Rublev a spanking like he did before. So listen, you won't even want to know my finals. They're crazy. I have Sabalenka versus Halep, which is a disaster. There's no way
I'm
Sabalenka
mad at
gets
you
that
for
far.
that.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like it.
Oh my
It's a bad
god.
final.
I don't like. Nobody's buying tickets to that.
No one's buying
Noam
tickets
says,
to
"Does
that.
anyone have Kyrgios making a final?" You know what? I don't think that he.
Tell me,
I
Noam saying, do you think Kyrgios gets past Medvedev? I just feel like
no,
Medvedev
I
will just
don't.
run him ragged and
I do
return
think
those
the
balls
same.
return those serves so well. I just
He is that player that makes you hit maybe not one, but even two or three extra balls, and Nick will not be able to handle that.
Yeah, I'm
And I'm
curious
fine
about
with
it.
it because I am a Medi
Tony,
fan.
his name is not Van der Schlong, it's Van der Sloop.
Van
And
der Sloop,
the
Batik,
people on
Botik.
tennis team and ATP, yes. My
Tony, get it
God, they butchered
together.
that name so badly. I was just like, I don't know who y'all are talking
See,
about. And
this
the
is how
dude
the
is right there.
world has changed. I have him taking out Stan in the second round.
I mean, Stan ain't the
So
man
do
much
I.
anymore.
I know he's
So
not
do
the man
I.
anymore. I think Medvedev gets to the final and tries to defend his final.
I think if
And I want that
Medvedev
for
gets to
Medvedev.
the final, he's gonna win. I don't give a
Not
fuck
if
if
he
it's
plays against
Rafa.
Rafa again. Can you
No,
imagine? Can you
I think
imagine if
he's
it's
learned.
Rafa versus Medvedev again?
Mm,
Wait,
he's gonna have learned his lesson and do well this time.
I don't know. Well, we'll
He
see.
should have learned left in Melbourne because he
Wait, let me
lost to
ask.
Australia.
Let me ask the far out question. Any newbies getting to the final
On the
No,
WTA.
on either side?
neither
Any new
side.
person?
No,
The
No new
WTA for
no.
person in the
sure. The
final
WTA for sure.
on the
For
Sabalenka
sure.
side, right? Not the Halep side.
WTA,
For
I don't.
sure.
Girl, it's the WTA. Y'all sit
No,
down here and watch
you
a
know what? Ons
qualifier
could
win the
get
whole
there,
tournament
right?
last year, and y'all gonna
Stop.
pretend
I'm just checking. I think it could be
it's the
Garcia.
WTA.
It could be Garcia. Garcia, if she keeps her run, she could
I
get
think
to that
Garcia's
final.
gonna be
Yes.
tired. To be honest, that's
I mean, I won't be able to
sadly my
stand the
thought.
French if Garcia win, but I would love for Garcia to win.
What about Amanda? I'm putting like a little bit in my hat for
No,
Amanda coming good.
can't be
No,
American.
no.
Can't be American. Can't be
Anisimova? You
American.
don't think you don't think
Nope.
so?
No,
Nope.
no.
Unless it's Coco, no. It's not about
You all are
racism, but
bad.
We
You
but
are
it's
all are
gonna be about
evil.
bad.
racism.
You're
It's
all
gonna be how
bad.
they're gonna treat. Yeah,
Oh my god.
Mm-mm.
Noam
Well,
says,
my
"What
dream.
injuries do you predict?" Oh my god. I feel like Rafa's feet are gonna be jacked up. That's it.
You know what?
No, Rafa's
That's a
going to
fair
say
point.
his feet are jacked up.
Okay, let me see who's got an injury. I predict an injury, not for any of these boys, but I feel like an injury might stop. Obviously, Nick.
Oh my god, I was just gonna say it's time for
Obvious.
Kyrgios to have an injury.
I mean, obviously, maybe I'm not wishing it on him, but I'm just saying usually that happens somewhere.
Correct.
I don't. All the guys seem like they've been doing okay. Maybe Rublev. He seems very off. So I'm actually being really generous by even seeing him getting to the quarterfinals.
I hope he wears extra sunscreen. He's very pale.
Medvedev. Somebody said Medvedev and a rolled ankle. Please no.
No, he'll be fine.
Medvedev is
He's
keeping my hope alive for that top half. But I guess if Medvedev got eliminated suddenly, that whole thing suddenly blows up, and everybody feels
blows
like
the fuck up.
they got a chance. And
Well,
then
then
you
it's
got
Kyrgios to take, and I hope he doesn't crumble under the pressure.
Matteo. I'm gonna go with Matteo instead. I feel like Matteo's been there. He's gotten to a semis here. He could do one better and get his ass to a final. New York would love an Italian in a final. I mean, you can get an all Italian final. Matteo versus
Can
Sinner.
you wear trousers
You
in the
know
finals?
what? Stop.
I'm just wondering.
So,
No.
given that this was supposed to be, and really truly is, an all
Serena.
things Serena podcast, give me your final Serena thought, whatever it be, the good, the bad, or the ugly.
It's about damn time. I'm
Oh
joking.
my gosh! So
I'm joking,
bad.
Janina. I'm joking, Janina.
Okay,
No, you're
go
not,
for
you
it.
fucking
I'll start.
asshole.
I'll
No.
start so that you
Go
can
ahead, Andre.
prepare yourself, Reels. I'm gonna say that I'm really excited that Serena is doing my wish that I've said out loud to anyone that would listen, that I hope that she would do doubles. I'm also hoping she'll even do a little doubles with a dude. I think that they could have a really fantastic run, her and her sister. I think both so I'm looking forward to Serena and Venus doubles all the way and just have a fun ride, even some matches on Armstrong, because Serena, if it's just singles, we'll never see her on Armstrong. And I'm being selfish. I have Armstrong tickets, and I'd love to see her come out there and get the crowd really excited for the weekend. So I'm really looking forward to enjoying the Williams sisters doubles experience. Like, I don't want to feel sad that Serena can't compete anymore. Like, I don't want to have that vibe. So I want to just have like a really exciting, fun vibe for her and her sister. That's what I'm hoping. Oh no, but that's what I want. I want a
Baby,
fun.
she ain't pregnant right
I
now.
know.
Cut it out.
I mean, she kind of looks like she could be.
Andreen, stop it.
I saw her at the I saw her when she went to the stock exchange. I wouldn't be surprised,
You
but
think she might be pregnant? I mean, this is what we do. If you think that, put it out here first
I
on our podcast.
I'm not thinking she's pregnant, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm just hoping for a really fun doubles run. I think it's a
Okay.
good way to say goodbye, and it's a good way for her to give herself a chance at a medal. I'm not a medal at a trophy. To be honest, oopsie, at a trophy.
Yeah, I think she has definitely a better chance at a doubles title than she does a singles title. Reels, what are your thoughts?
I would say that everything Andreen says is what noted, but I would say that I am very happy with, for the most part. I have enjoyed watching Serena. I'd say, that there was some amazing matches I've watched her played, and she defeated some people that I did not like. And I've always, I'm petty, so I always enjoy that. And there's some matches where, she was just absolutely brilliant, and she was doing the damn thing. And I enjoyed her tennis most of than I enjoyed Serena and the off court brand, I would say. And that's my final. And she would be missed on tour. She would be missed on tour, I would say, for
She
sure.
will
At
definitely
least
be
as a
missed on
fan, as
tour.
someone who watches,
Oh,
who knew Serena before, I
listen,
would miss her.
the WTA is going to miss her on tour when they ain't got nobody to put ass in seats to come and watch matches. Because Serena sells tickets. We know this. It has been proven time and time again. But for me, I want to savor every moment. I'm happy. I'm just happy about it. I'm happy that I have truly gotten to watch her entire career, all the highs and all the lows, and know that I was a true fan. I didn't jump on a bandwagon. I didn't love a player only when they were winning and dominating. I was always cheering for her, and I am cheering for her now. And I'm happy that she's going out on what she says are her own terms, and that's all I can ever want for an athlete. And Tony, I'm not trying to blow up your spot, but I hope that you will watch her live. I want that for you more than anything through this US Open. I want you to experience it. I want you to love it. I want you to hate it. I want you to laugh. I want you to cry. I know how much you love her, and I want you to make sure that you do it
Aw.
in the moment because I love you.
Blow up his spot. Come and go. Come for the ride. Come for the wild
Come
ride.
for the ride.
So this has been lovely, ladies. A little longer than we expected, but you know how we
Well,
do it.
It's Serena.
it's a lot.
We
There's
kept
a lot
running back
going
to Serena.
on.
I'm fine to spend time on Serena. You are
And that is true.
something
That is
else.
true. And somehow I don't think this is nearly enough because it didn't include Venus.
Oh my
So
gosh,
well,
let Venus have her own time. I felt like Venus
No, I'm
deliberately
fine.
did not announce any kind of news so that each of them can have their own moment, right?
Yeah,
That's
for
the
sure.
thing. Like they all want to have their
And you know
moment.
what?
She should.
If at the end Venus says, "Hey, guess what, guys? I'm done too." That's okay. It's
no,
okay.
and
No,
Venus, listen to me.
Venus would
If
do
for
that.
nothing else, Venus gives Serena this career because she's only give her nearly half of these majors.
Shut the
So
fuck up.
Okay, so
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna
Venus.
leave it. I'm gonna leave it with my favorite Serena quote. I thought it was accurate. I thought it had facts in it, and so I appreciated it. I think if you hold 3 Grand Slam titles, then maybe you should be number 1, but not on the WTA tour, obviously. My motivation is maybe just to win another Grand Slam and stay number 2, I guess. I see myself
Oh,
as number 2. That's where I am. I think Dinara Safina, Dinara,
oh
did a
yes,
great job
Lord.
to get to number 1. She won Rome and Madrid. And I felt that was nothing but facts and there was no shade in it.
She retired that girl, by the way. That girl
Ah,
retired after that
poor
statement.
Safina. I love
Yeah, she
Safina,
did.
but
I never loved Safina.
that
Never,
cracked me up
never.
to no end. It gives me
One
giggles
thing I
anytime
remember
I
about
read it.
Safina is that the first time I saw her in real life, I was like, oh my God, she and Marat walks the very same way. You couldn't
That's
tell.
funny. You know what? It
They
is.
had that
It is a
same.
genetic thing.
I mean, you couldn't. I mean, it was just my friend. I
My
was there with a
husband
friend of
and my
mine, and we
oldest
looked
child
around.
walk the same.
We were like, my God, is that Safin in drag? Like, what is happening here?
I remember being so disappointed in Safina, but whatever. We don't have time for that tonight.
Okay.
Listen,
Anyway,
Serena Williams, you have been amazing. You have been a part of my life for so long, and I thank you for that.
We got this bitch on the road to watch
I
tennis.
do. I'm happy
yes.
about all of it.
Blame
I'm
her.
happy. I even
Are
got
you
to
going to
see
be
a.
in the U.S. Open, Janina?
You know what? I don't think I am. I was
Okay.
hoping to. I don't think that's going to happen, but miracles happen.
All right. We'll have to hog tie her and force her to come, if anything.
All right, you
I'm
all. This was lovely. I enjoyed all your comments. You have been amazing as always.
Thank you.
Michelle, I'm so sorry your heart is heavy, but you know what? There's always YouTube. And there's a lot of great video. A lot of people are doing, the youngins with the little technology today. They make all kind of mashup. They can even have matches where you never see Serena lose a point. They just
true
make it happen
story.
with a little
They
tickety
just make
tock.
it
Listen, you're
look
gonna miss
all
the
good.
nerves in your belly when you're watching your.
You're gonna miss it,
Tony
okay?
says,
Janina, let's go to the
Tony,
U.S. Open next
Tony,
year.
do you know how long I have been asking this motherfucker to go this year? And he says
Go
next
this
year.
year.
I
Go this
can't with
year.
him. I
You
Well,
can't
gotta
with
go
Janina,
this
him.
take it
year.
where you can get it because I know Tony's not driving
Okay,
from
okay. So this is
Play All Division.
my challenge to Janina and Tony.
Yes.
Okay.
If Serena makes
Did we just lose Andreen? Wait, start
Yes.
over.
Which
You broke up. Start over.
Serena
so the
makes it
challenge
to the
is not a
weekend,
challenge.
it
Mhm.
is a sign you have to come. It's a challenge.
Whew.
If she does everything she can to make it to the weekend, y'all better make your asses come. And even if that includes doubles, because you have a better chance of
Listen,
seeing her close up.
listen. I might fly in. It's a quick flight. Tony,
I'm just
however, is
saying.
not going to fly in quickly.
I'm saying that that's your charge. If she makes it to the weekend, it's a call. It's a call to you all. Oh no, I changed nothing during the slam. Okay.
Okay.
Tony, we
That's true. Oh my gosh, you're like that type. You're
we
like that person who can't
he
change
is
that
that
up.
person.
Oh
He's
my
that
gosh.
person. We can't convince him, but we can
Tony,
definitely convince
Tony.
me.
Let me just say, Tony, it hasn't worked the last 6, 7
Stop
slams,
it.
boo.
Stop it.
Oh, do
Snap.
not blow up his spot reels.
Snap. Oh, I love it though. But it is. I was trying to incentivize, but that's not a bad idea.
Well, I love
That's
you all. I love
no.
our
Tony says he
Serena
would never
fandom.
forgive himself. That's fair. You already saw her in Cincy, so there you go. You did it. You did the darn thing. So,
You
no,
know, can
no.
I just say I saw Serena win her very first Cincinnati tournament ever.
Did you?
It's not I did, and it is not often in a career of such long things that
That
you
it's a
get to say
first.
you saw first, and I
Mm,
did. And I think Tony was there too. I think he was. I'm not positive, but I think he was. And yeah, I mean that is for my own personal self, that is definitely one of the highlights because when you it was towards the end of her career and um you don't get to see first time things towards the end of an athlete's career. So I am happy that I got to see that.
all right. Well, it's been fun going down the Serena road with y'all.
Yes, it
This
has.
was. I think you all are much stronger Serena stands than I am, but it has been lovely. It has been lovely to
You
occupy
will
the
have your
zone with
moment with
you.
Venus.
I know. Venus is gonna come and make us all sad at some point as well. Although
It's
it's so
okay.
funny. I've made peace with Venus because Venus has been partying and enjoying life the way I do in
For
my life,
Yeah.
so
and she
long, right? I feel like she retired ages ago and just occasionally shows up to play tennis.
and plays tennis.
2017.
Basically, ever since she lost that final against her sister, Serena Venus has just been hanging. So I feel like that's how I've been taking it.
In
That's probably really
2017,
rude
Australian
for her.
Open. Yes, ma'am.
There
Yeah.
you go. All right, y'all. Tony's
It's
saying
not
bye, and
rude.
we're
It's
gonna
just
say
it is what
bye.
it is.
Yep. All right. It's been lovely,
Happy
y'all.
Serena Slam.
I
Happy
mean,
Hopefully.
US
Ciao,
Open,
ciao.
y'all.
there will be another
And
one.
let
There'll
us
be
know in
another
the
one.
comments below who are your picks. Okay? We
Who's the
didn't even do that. We're
finalist?
so
All
messy.
right. Take care,
All right,
y'all.
bye.
Bye. True.
Bye.
Yes, Lucky Lang's Venus is just moving product. She's coming out with a Hallmark movie, and I know that's going to be like the White
What
Christmas.
can I sell
I'm
you
going to leave that alone.
today?
You have to live tweet it. She's gonna do a live tweet up of that. So you all have to do a live
Mm.
tweet with Venus. Listen, Venus is only following the model that her sister showed us. Serena had a whole shopping extravaganza on the shopping channel. So let Venus have her moment.
Alrighty then.
True that. All right.
So
Bye.
we're bombing
Good
out.
night.
Good night.
Night.